I'm Nedzo. I'm
Hello
going to bring
everyone.
you
I'm
this.
Nedzo. I'm going to bring you this endurance race from the for the 3 hours of Silverstone here in the SimPlay Racing League. We've got 11 minutes of free practice before we move into what will hopefully be it'll be the qualifying session, which I think will be 10 minutes long. And then we will. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. Will it be 10 minutes? Will I be able to quickly check? No, I can't. That's annoying. I think it is a 10-minute qualifying session followed by a 3-hour race. It will be interesting to see how a race of that length goes. But we're just in practice at the moment, and the drivers are rapidly getting quicker. Since I joined the session, we've improved at least 2 seconds in lap time. If we go on board with current pace setter, let me just get the. I'm going to get the drivers' names up so I don't have to keep using their initials like I was doing the other day for the Donington Park race, which was in the. I can't remember which class it was in. That was actually, to be fair. What I do know is that the current pace setter, who races for Race Club UK, is Richard Hall. Followed by the JWB Racing Esports driver that goes by the name of, I assume. Well, hold on. No, that's yeah, the JWB racer Kevin Steen. In P2 there, 2 tenths behind. As we see him go off into the grass, I assume he'll be returning to garage. Or is he just made a mistake? Is that possibly what's happened there? Potentially that is what's happened. But we're just in practice right now, so there's nothing really much going on. Just drivers getting. What I will do, because I heard complaints last time of ads being on my stream, I'll see if I can go and turn those off now, so I don't have to bother with them. Where's the monetization settings? Ads. You're earning revenue from Twitch Turbo. Fun. I'm gonna quickly. I'm just gonna quickly turn those off for now. There you go. So that should stop ads from being able to be displayed. But in the meantime, we're going to keep with our fast drivers as Florian Hausler goes to the top of the timesheets on a 2-minute 1.015 in the 332 McLaren and pulls to the pit lane. Obviously, this is the Silverstone circuit. If you watch Formula 1 racing, you'll know all about this circuit. However, it's got a bit of a different twist to it because the first corner is in fact Cop's corner and not the Abbey corner, which is the first turn on the circuit on the Grand Prix circuit. Obviously, Cop's was the first corner on the old layout of Silverstone in Formula 1. Obviously, when they used the bridge layout of the circuit, it turned left where Abbey is now, but the modern arena layout of the circuit turns right and goes into a part of the track that's meant to just increase overtaking, make it a little bit easier for drivers to overtake. Obviously, we don't really need that in GT racing because the cars are more susceptible to side-by-side action anyway, rather than Grand Prix cars, but that's just how it works sometimes. So, as I said, as I think that is another driver going to the top of the timing screens. Ian Gray of Quantum Apex Motorsport manages to be the first driver to break into the 2-minute zeros, and he's gone off of the track there in quite a dramatic fashion. He's didn't he come back into the pits? Look at me looking like an absolute knob, not realising what he's doing. And I'm just adjusting my pedal set because I can feel that it is not properly propped up. And I always use my pedal set to rest on during races. It's been propped up by a book and a steel case from a racing game, but I've just quickly sorted that out. But yeah, we've got a few drivers out on circuit. Rob Hall being please tell me I just got his name right. No, it's Richard Hall, isn't it? Not Rob Hall. Richard Hall, along with Ian Gray. Obviously, we've got a mix of different drivers. Most of the McLarens and Ferraris at the top, but saying that, Jay Winter, he's just got an initial. He hasn't got a first name that we know of. In the Porsche for FSO Junior Racing Team, goes into 6th place, only 6 tenths away from the current fastest time here as we move into the last 5 minutes of practice. There's quite a large field spread. P. Radin is the slowest driver who has set a legitimate lap time. He is 7.4 seconds off the pace. That is, yeah, he also doesn't have a first name that we know of. We've got Andrew Taylor coming across the line. I assume to start a lap for Rusty's Racing. So we've got Rusty's Racing driving a yellow and a red and yellow car, which obviously is an ode to Lightning McQueen in the Cars films. We've also got Dynaco Racing, but it's spelt wrong. Dynaco obviously being in relation to the blue car, that resembles Richard Petty's Dodge Daytona. But obviously they spelled Dynaco wrong because it's supposed to be spelled Dinoco, but they've spelt it like a modern version. But yeah, we've got Rusty's, we've got Dynaco. We've got quite a few competitors here. We've got 20 competitors so far in the session. I'm not sure if we're supposed to have more because I can tell you on this list. 1, 2, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 8, 19, 21, 2, 3, 4, 26, 20, 28, 30, 34, 36, 37, 39 cars we're supposed to have, but we have only 20. I'm not sure if that's we're missing quite a few drivers. And also I can see we've got quite a few people who seem to not be from the United Kingdom. So if I get any of your names wrong, I sincerely apologise. But I'll do my best to try and not be uncultured like many of my compatriots. But yeah, Max Mulder has gone to the top of the timing sheets in a lap time that we haven't been on board with on a 2:07. It's weird saying just 2:07. It's usually a 2:1.something or a 2:2.something, which you're supposed to have a number before it is, or 2-minute dead 0.7, I suppose you could say. But it seems the drivers are getting geared up for a interesting qualifying session. We have only 2 minutes 45 seconds remaining as we see Ian Gray get a bit of a tank slapper on coming out of Luffield. I nearly said Woodcote. That bit is Woodcote. The tiny little kink right is known as Woodcote. Now we're coming to Copse Corner, the scene of many iconic moments in motor racing. The most recent of which probably is Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen coming together in the 2021 edition of the British Grand Prix. Magas and Beckett reprofiled in the early 1990s. As the whole circuit got reprofiled because in its original form, Silverstone had only a couple of corners. It had Copse, Maggots and Beckett's were only 2 corners. That's why they were called Maggots and Beckett's. It wasn't like nowadays where it's 4 corners. Then you went through Chapel, which was a third, which made it 4 corners. Then Stowe was a 5th, and then I think it was Vale and then Bridge. With the next, there was literally only about 7 corners on the circuit, and it had owned Keke Rosberg set an average speed lap time there in 1985 of 165 miles an hour in 1980s Formula 1 cars, which just shows how high speed it was. There was a chicane added there by the time they went back there in 1987, because at the time they had a sharing agreement with the British Grand Prix of Brands Hatch that lasted from 1963 until 1986. Before that, Silverstone had an agreement with Aintree, which is the place where they do horse racing now. But yeah, they've made a lot of modifications. They added a chicane going into Woodcut. That was the first edit they made, and then they altered the chicane again. Then they added Maggots and Beckett's in its modern form. Then they tightened up Stowe, I think. Then they added the Vale chicane, which is the one coming into what is the last couple of corners on the F1 layout. Then they added, I think that's when they added Brooklands and what was then called Priory. Now, obviously, Priory doesn't exist on this layout because it's the left-hander that used to go into Brooklands. But then, that whole section was made. And yeah, it's cool to see how history and modern Grand Prix racing has changed circuits. Because obviously they changed Silverstone. I think it was because of safety, because it was just a very high-speed circuit. Ian Gray's at the top of the timesheets. He's only 6 tenths away from getting into the 159s as we do finally come to the end of the session. This is practice, remember, so nothing really much to fight for here. What I will do, since I've not got to worry about ads on my stream, I will go onto the YouTube channel so I can see what people are saying. Let me just go into here. We've got SimPlay Motorsport. Currently 5 people tuning into the stream. I'll go into the comments so I can see what people are saying. Where's the live chat? There it is. Team Jag for the win. Haha. Looks like a McLaren fest. Yeah, I mean we've got a guy called Team Jag, which is obviously a reference to Top Gear, because Jeremy Clarkson used to always say Jag when referring to Jaguar cars, and of course they're in a Jaguar. We've got a multitude of cars, 20 in fact. 21 now. Now someone else has loaded in. Hopefully you'll be enjoying the content. We've got a couple of minutes to go before we jump into the qualifying session, which will last 10 minutes, I think it will. We'll see when we load in. But yeah. Hopefully we'll get more people joining as we go through, because the more the merrier. The more races, the more fun. Let's just have a look at the top of the time sheets. What's his name? Andre Damrat has gone to the top of the timesheets on a 2-minute .3. The guy he's got the closest of anyone to that sacred 159 barrier, and it is raining for this qualifying session. We have 10 minutes, and it's not pouring it down, it's not bucketing it down, but it is in fact, well, I'd say spitting really. This will be interesting. One car, I think that's a Ferrari, is instantly going onto the circuit. It is Richard Hall going straight out onto the track. He's not messing around. So this will be interesting. Will we see some entertaining... Oh, I do not want to report him for cheating. I keep trying to press... Because I'm used to racing games having the X button be changing camera. That's what I'm used to in other games. So that's what that is. I'm not trying to get people reported yet. Right, is it... I'm trying to think what the button is. Oh, well. I'll work it out for myself anyway. But yeah, we've got Richard Hall, first guy out onto the track. We've got a lot of drivers following him. Some have decided to stay in the pits. I'm not sure if they think it's going to dry out. But if I were them, I would be trying to get at least some track acclimatization in. Because it's helpful to know just how wet the track is and just how much you can push into each one of these corners. As Richard Hall comes across the line, you can see him not exactly following the racing line. He tries to go to the inside on the straight to... Tries to go on the inside of the straight to make sure he can get a bit of breathing space going into the corners. You can see he's not... Well, he is fully aiming for the apexes, but he's not taking the same lines you would in the dry as he comes out of the loop and into Aintree, which would probably normally be quite easy... not easily flat in these cars, maybe, but would be less of a challenge. In the wet, it'll obviously be more difficult because there's a corner that can easily get in your way if you're not careful. As we come into Brooklands, it looks all very gathered up. It doesn't look like it's raining on his screen, to be honest. I don't be expecting tank slappers, getting a swapper on out of some of these corners. He is a little bit slow off the exit of Luffield there, but going up to Woodcote. He's gonna hopefully, for his sake anyway, be able to get a lap in, because Silverstone is a fairly long circuit nowadays. It's not just in terms of time, but in terms of distance. So even if you were to push straight out the pits, you probably only get 4 push laps in. And in wet conditions, that could even go down to 3 if you're gonna have a properly good outlap as well. Evening all. It says SimPlay Motorsport, evening indeed. Let's see how the Pro-Am drivers, I thought I said From then for a second. Pro-Am drivers do qualifying now. Solo drivers should remain in the pits for a pit lane start. Yep, I forgot about that. I remember hearing that in the driver briefing. But Richard Hall's coming through. He's not coming through the last couple of corners. I keep forgetting it's not the F1 layout. He's coming into what is essentially the mid part of a lap, actually, really. We have him coming round here. We have a couple of... Oh, he's properly gone wide off of the exit of Club Corner. I'm not sure if that'll be an invalidation for him, but most certainly will offset him coming in towards this tricky, tight section, which will probably be the most difficult section of any part of the circuit for any driver to navigate in these wet conditions. As we come up towards the... I'm not sure if this is the Hanger Straight or the Wellington Straight. There's a car off in the background. I'm not exactly sure who that is. It's a 93 of... Who's a 93? I can't see it. Oh, there he is. Michele Ricci made a mistake coming through that section, but I'll tell you who hasn't made any significant errors. Richard Hall comes up to the line and completes the first lap of anyone. What's it going to be on the timing sheets for him? Nothing. So that was an invalid lap time because of that track limits infraction. We have a number 80 coming up to the line. Sorry, not a number 80. That was a number 86 coming up to the line. That's, I'm just getting used to everyone's names now. Micro J's. Then Ian Gray's gone 3.8 seconds quicker. What a sensational lap time from Ian Gray to go on a 2-minute 5.1. Daryl GR36 into second. Replaced by Green Wolfinator for JWB Racing Esports. That's such an unwieldy long name that I don't like. But we've got loads of drivers, including DJ Phil Green, who I was commentating on at Donington Park, who is now competing in this race. So that's someone who I recognise. We have the 721 of... Who the flying hell is that? I can't see them on the screen. That's probably just my eyesight rather than anything of their problem. And then coming through the last corner, we have a lot of big numbers here. 332 of Florian Hausler as he comes around the final corner in that McLaren. It reminds me of McLaren F1 how long that rear end is. Obviously it's not. I think it's a 720S, isn't it? He goes to P4, 2.5 seconds off the pace of Ian Gray. We have only 3 minutes left in the session. And a good chunk, more than half of the drivers haven't even set a valid lap so far. So they need to put their foot down and get a move on. P. Raiden is one of those drivers who needs to put his foot down, and he has done. 4.8 seconds off. Player Man, 7.6 seconds off a pace. Dylan Wajok, I don't know how you say that. Wajoki? Do you say that? Sorry, Dean Wajoki, not Dylan. My bad. That'll be an annoying. I always tend to get people's names slightly wrong, not to the point where they get annoyed, but slightly wrong. Max Mulder coming across the line does not set lap time. That was not. Was that Max Mulder or was that someone else? No, it was Andrew Taylor. Yeah, we've got several drivers coming up to the line. The 668 of... Sorry, is that the 666 of Wolfinator? It is indeed. He doesn't improve. And he's got a McLaren, I think, behind him. That is the 33. Oh, there's someone coming out of the pits there. The 33 of... no, it's the 334, sorry. Of... Danielle Michel's who hasn't set a lap. We still have 10 drivers who haven't set a lap, and we are 2 minutes left in this qualifying session. I don't know how people can leave it this late. I know I wouldn't be able to. I don't know if it's just something that's common, but I definitely wouldn't be able to. Florian Hausler has got the track to his own, and he's coming through the last part of the circuit. He'll be able to get one more lap in. Most people will be able to get one more lap in because there's no one in that first portion of the circuit anymore. I think some drivers aren't able to qualify for a reason that I probably didn't listen fully to in the driver's briefing. Yeah, Jay Gooday is coming up to the line. Let me just see if I can find what their first name is. They haven't set a valid lap time, unfortunately, for their sake. But we will go on to the next person who has a chance of doing such a thing. Which will be, I'm not sure who actually. We'll give it a test. The 60 of Andy Taylor. Sorry, 66 of Andy Taylor. Coming up to the line. It's P8, 3.5 seconds off the lead time set by, I assume it's still Ian Gray. He's been caught up by some of the people behind, but hasn't been superseded by any stretch of imagination. Daryl Geoff, 63, goes to the top of the timesheets. Now it's the 666, the Devil's car of Green Wolfinator coming up to the line. That's not an improvement for him. I don't know who that was. Richard Hall of Race Club UK going to within 0.5 of the lead time. Dean Wajoki setting a time 5.7 seconds off the pace. We have 9 seconds remaining. Holy mother of God! I wasn't checking how long time we had left. Jay Goudet is coming through, or coming into the final sector, driving for Greasy Bandits Racing Team. That's an interesting name. It's John Goudet, not Jay. I'll say John Goudet now, and I know his first name. Coming up to the final section of the circuit, the checkered flag is waving. So anyone who hasn't set a valid lap time yet, who wants to, will have to do it on this lap. Is he coming into the pits? So I assume he's not able to set a fast lap time because he's simply not allowed, I assume. That's what the reasoning behind that is. The 332 is coming up to the line. That is the Florian Hausler. He's also into the pit lane. Several drivers making their way into the pits. Not sure the exact motive behind that. Not sure if that's a strategic one or if that's a legal issue in terms of if they've been told to do that. Because Micro J's isn't doing so, and he's coming up to the line. What will he set on this lap? Stays P10. Andrew Taylor behind him stays P9, I think. Yep, he does indeed. The 957 of Ridgeway. That is I need to get people's names pinned down, really. Matthew Ridgway. I would have guessed it was Matthew, because that's quite a common male surname. Richard Hall comes across the line and does not improve. Daryl GR63 sat in the pits. Michele Ricci is stuck in the pits too. I think DJ Phil Green might be one of only 2 cars still left on the circuit. Dean Wyzotski, or Wyzotski, words. I'm very bad when it comes to pronouncing foreign surnames that are in a language that I don't know. I do know Spanish and French, but it doesn't seem, apart from, what's his name, Andre Damrat, that anyone has a name that stems from either of those 2 languages. The session has indeed ended. So your top times then, it doesn't show me the top 2, but from memory, that was Ian Gray and Richard Hall at the top. Then third will be the 51 McLaren of, I can't see the top of that name. For some reason it won't let me scroll up because this game is about as intelligent as, oh my god, it is pouring it down for the start of the race. I'm not sure if I think we should get a formation lap. Mandatory 3 stops. I think I heard something about maximum 45-minute stints or maximum 1 hour 30-minute stints. I think obviously, I think basically you have to do all the 3 pit stops. You have to do them in like 1 hour intervals, so you have to treat it as in 3 stages of the race, basically. But the drivers have 2 minutes to perfect their setup before the start, and hopefully it will be spicy. Yep, and it's going to be interesting. This is my first wet race I'll be commentating in ACC, so I hope it won't be a crash fest. But in my luck, it will be. Put down in the comments, who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to get off the line first? Actually, will probably be a better thing to ask. We have several drivers coming from the back, and I think, from what I remember, there'll be several drivers coming from the pit lane as well. I can't see anyone in the pit lane, but I assume what that'll be is they'll just be put into the game. We have less than a minute remaining till the start of this event. Ian Gray is on pole position. Richard Hall in second. Daryl GR63 in third. Which one of those 3 will be able to get into the first corner, or will it be someone else? Let me just send the link to someone else.
30 seconds.
30 seconds till the start.
20 seconds.
20 seconds. The tension is building. The engines will rise in revs. The people are putting their headlight, or someone's putting their headlights on. Obviously, it will be a bit darker, but I don't know if headlights are necessary. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I assume, will we have a formation lap, or will it be go, go, go? Last time I got baited because it was a formation lap when I didn't think it was. Yep, several drivers starting from the pit lane. Of the 21, 3 of them are starting from the pit lane. It is indeed a formation lap. Everyone is gearing up for the start of this GT race here at Silverstone. It is a wet affair, and Ian Gray will lead us into Cops for the formation tour of the circuit. 3 drivers will not get a grasp of the conditions before the start of a race. Obviously, on the formation lap, you don't get much of an inkling as to how grippy the circuit is, but it will give you some form of advice as to where you can and cannot go, where the grip is, where the grip isn't on this opening lap. Good luck all. Remember, it isn't won in the first lap. It is 3 hours indeed. Sending a crazy dive onto turn 1 and taking out 3 drivers or more would not be a great way to drive. It is obviously 3 hours, much longer than the race that I commentated on the other day. But yeah, we come up towards Stowe Corner. And yep, so the whole field spans the straight here, and you can hear the engines rumbling here in the Northamptonshire / Buckinghamshire circuit, coming up to what would be the last corners if we were on the Formula 1 circuit, but we are not on the Formula 1 circuit, as I've reiterated multiple times. Where's some of my so creaking doors in the background because my uni accommodation needs some WD-40 on the kitchen door. Other lubricants are available. He's properly slowing them down, Ian Gray, here. You can't be going more than about 40 miles an hour. Some people trying to detach themselves from the back of the pack, potentially. There's a lot of spray as well, by the way. If you're in cockpit cam, I know there's a windscreen, so you won't really see the problem. You'll have windscreen wipers, but it'll still be a nightmare to see. Go Max Mulder and Sky. BSTC Racing Goat. Okay, so we know who you're supporting. Senna, I'm not going to try and pronounce that. That's Dutch, isn't it? Herwager? Herwager? I tried. Now we're coming towards the last sector of this formation lap. As Ian Gray goes a little bit wide, everyone's going a little bit wide. But now we're going to slow it all down. Someone, I think, has just been put into the pit lane. Ian Gray has been put into the pit lane. What has happened there? Did contact on the formation lap force him into the pits? Will this mean that he won't start from the pole position? I think it will do. Unless that's just something in the game that I don't know. Maybe because he made contact with someone, he got sent to the pit lane. I know that's what happens in the Formula 1 games. But that is a drastic problem for him. Good luck, everyone, says Jamal. Good luck indeed. But I'll tell you who does need some luck. Ian Gray, if he is going to start from the pit lane. And we look towards the grid here. So Richard Hall will start from second, but I think he will be promoted to first. Let's make sure that people like Darrell don't accidentally pull into the wrong grid slot, because you often see this in other racing categories. We are going, I forgot it's not grid slots, is it? It's a rolling start. We are going in Silverstone. Darrell nearly sent it up the inside there, but didn't make the move stick. We're going to try and see what happens further behind it. Actually, no, we're not, because Darrell is trying to move on Richard as we come down to Magus and Beckett. This is not the best camera angle. This is, though. We're going to see what happens in towards the SS section. We've got Green Wolfinger trying to go around the outside. No, we're not. We're seeing someone else go around the outside that I can't seem to see because it's not focusing the camera on them. I apologise sincerely for that misdemeanour. We've got the 93 going up the inside there of Michele Ricci. But then we've got another car trying to challenge. That is Richard Hall being challenged by... is that Florian House? Apparently Florian House is in second. He's properly changing the order here. This is not the correct order, I can assure you. But what I can assure you is that Richard Hall has gone off the circuit at Stowe, and that is going to put him right at the back of the pack. So Darrell should be leading then. He is, in fact, leading. Darrell GR63, who started third, is now leading by 1 second from not Richard Hall. He says he's in second, but this is not the case. We'll wait for the second sector split to come along before we make any judgments. Second, I think, is not Michele Ricci either. It's Matthew Ridgway, I think. Yes, it is Matthew Ridgway. Sorry for me not knowing the numbers and stuff. That is problem. He was out of position, says Jamie Brazier. Okay, that makes sense. Not sure what the reason for that will be, but that makes sense now. Matthew Ridgway into second. Andy Taylor up to third. Green Wolfinator fourth. Max Mulder fifth. Michele Ricci sixth. And Jamie Goudet is trying for a move on Michele Ricci in towards Brooklands. We'll see what happens. On the inside he will come. Will he be able to make the move stick in these wet and tricky conditions? On the inside, goes to the inside, pulls in front and doesn't. Will he let the car on the inside go back for the move? No, he doesn't. Up into P6 he goes, and that's a nice move there from John Goudet there. There's a green car off in the background. That is Micro J's. And there's a car into the pits. That is one of the Porsches. I'm not sure who that was. That may have been DJ Phil Green. It was DJ Phil Green. As we see, Andy Taylor on the first lap was the fastest lap setter. He's currently right behind Matthew Ridgway, trying to attack and claim second place as he comes through Magnus and Beckett's, but doesn't make a move yet. In the McLaren challenging the Ferrari in front. Comes up towards Stowe. I'm not sure what the different characteristics of each car is, but if he has a top-end speed that is greater than that of Ridgway, it will definitely help him, and it definitely is helping him because he's right in the slipstream. He's going to go for the move on the inside of Stowe. He doesn't actually. He backs out of it in the end, unfortunately for him. As Rob Hall, who started... sorry, not Rob Hall. Richard Hall, who started in second place and now down to 10th due to apparently having to give up the positions. He was out of position. But yeah, Andy Taylor is also attempting to make a move for second place. We will keep an eye on that battle. Stop and go for 30 seconds for car 722. That is DJ Phil Green. DJ Phil Green has got a 30-second stop and go penalty for an infraction. I assume it was some sort of pit lane infraction, but he does indeed have a penalty to serve. Maybe because the pit lane window isn't open yet. That's the only thing I can assume. But yeah, Andy Taylor has fallen off the back of Matthew Ridgway in the opening laps of this race. We are a long way to go here. Only 5 minutes in. We've had some action at the start. Oh! Off goes Matthew Ridgway. Matthew Ridgway's gone off at Brooklands, and that's allowed Andy Taylor to slip through. Second place for the Ferrari man. Sorry, no, second place for the McLaren man. That's me getting my cars mixed up again. And Matthew Ridgway loses a position due to a little mistake there. Onto the curbing goes Andy Taylor. He's ragging that car. Green Wolfinator, who's currently the fastest lap holder, so it seems that either the track is getting drier or they are getting more acclimatized to the track conditions and getting more confident in being able to send it around these corners. Daryl GR63 is still leading us by approximately 3 seconds, and he's looking like he isn't really being challenged at the moment, but the guys behind certainly are, providing a challenge as Matthew Ridgway is all over the rear bumper of Andy Taylor there as we come in towards the out of Chapel and down towards Stowe. He's using those windscreen wipers. It doesn't seem that anyone else is using any windscreen wipers, so it seems he is using cockpit cam. That maybe gives an indication that other people are not using it. He's going for the inside. That is an insanely audacious dive bomb, and it's worked. Going into Stowe there. Into second place, Matthew Ridgway goes. That is a sensational dive into that tight right-hander there. Now, as we come through onto the back straight, these second, third and fourth place cars are line astern. Another 30-second stop go for the 722 of Phil Green. And that is quite a sensational opening 5 minutes of this race. Hopefully we'll see more action to come. As we said, Matthew Ridgway does update to be ahead of Andy Taylor. Now John Goudet is coming onto the back of this pack. He's slowly making his way up to the rear end of this little train that is forming for second place. Wait, has Andy Taylor... Andy Taylor has taken the lead and I haven't spotted it. That's my bad. He's taken second place and I haven't spotted it. That's completely my fault. Must have been a mistake there from Matthew Ridgway because he's lost second and is now trying to defend from third place. But now we're coming towards Magnus and Beckett's here. following these leading, or not leading cars, or leading pack of cars, should we say, there are cars further behind who are engaged in battle as well. It's not just the front guys we're going to focus on. If you would like me to focus on any particular driver, do ask and I will oblige, as long as there is a good battle going on. As Andre Damrat is battling with, I think that's Florian Hauster in front of him, the 332 car. And now we see coming through on towards the Vale chicane. Oh, a move in the background there. That's John Goudet overtaking Green Wolfinator for 4th place there. I think Green Wolfinator went deep into the tricky braking zone and has paid the price really for such an error. It also seems that the leaders are. So it seems that Andy Taylor is closer to the leading car of Darrell than he ever has been before. That is definitely not a gap of 2.6 seconds. That's maybe 2 at max. We will see as we come out of the loop, because we will get the second sector split. That is 2.3 seconds. That gap has decreased to the car behind. And now we come towards Brooklands here. Andy Taylor is gaining. And now we are looking towards the, as I'm just moving all my stuff around so I'll have more freedom over my wires. I'll actually do this. I'll move this chair closer so I can have the chat right there in front of me. It will be a lot easier. So, 10 minutes in, and John Goudet is the fastest driver on track. Currently doing a fantastic job in P4 for the Greasy Bandits racing team. And now we see DJ Phil Green has had a bit of a torrid time, hasn't he, so far? Currently, I think that means he's now a lap down. I think he is genuinely a lap down on the leaders, and we're not 10 minutes into this race. A really not a good showing from him here today. I think that's just more unluckiness out. He must have got caught up in an incident on the opening lap. But yeah, we're seeing John Goudet right on the back of Matthew Ridgway currently. As I think that's, I forgot what his name is. Michelle's is into the pit lane. Yep, Danielle Michelle's into the pit lane. Not sure what the reason will be. It must be either severe damage of some sort, because he's not going to... I don't think that will count as one of his 3 mandatory stops due to it not being within the pit stop window. But yeah. We're now going to move towards this battle for 3rd place, because John Goudet is attempting to make the overtake into Brooklands. They make contact on the entry. I think that I'm not sure if that was Ridgway turning in too much or if that was Goudet drifting wide. But John Goudet is up into 3rd place in that Aston Martin, the highest placed Aston Martin driver by an absolute country mile. Is there even another? There's not even another Aston Martin driver in the field. So he's the Lone Ranger for the British outfit. As one of my YouTube videos is absolutely popping off and I'm having to go through and love all these comments. I wonder how many views it's got so far. 1.4k, okay, that's decent. But we're now going to move towards... As Andy Taylor has closed to within 1 second of the leader, Darrell GR63. He's now going to be potentially attempting to close in on the leading man. Currently the fastest driver out on circuit is... let me just check what his name is. What team is he driving for? Hungarian racing team. HRT, I suppose you could call him. Yeah, I'm not going to try and pronounce that first name. Is it Shabolks? Shabols? I don't know how to pronounce that. I gave it a go. I'm just going to call him Mr. Linder or Mr. Lindner. There you go. That's probably a bit easier to get my English-speaking head around. My trilingualness doesn't expand to Hungarian. I assume that's Hungarian, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it's another language from that region of the world, like Poland. But we're going to now see Andy Taylor attempt to move into the Brooklands corner, I think. He's going to attempt it round the outside. That's a very audacious attempt, but he's going to try and make it stick. He's going to send it round the outside. A tiny bit of contact, I think, between the two cars, but he's managed to go through on Darrell for the lead of the race. Darrell is being pressurised or pressured by John Goudet as well, but that is a change for the lead as we move on towards the next lap of this race. We have 2 hours and 46 minutes remaining. We've had our first lead change, and now we've got our potential change for second place as well as John Goudet up the inside. That is Darrell losing 2 positions in the space of only a few corners. Either he's falling off in terms of performance or everyone else is just getting quicker, because that is not a good move from Darrell to lose those positions so easily. It wasn't even much of a fight for either driver. John Goudet is fastest person on the track so far at the moment, so that's not really a surprise, but maybe he's moving up the pack. But for Darrell to lose 2 positions like that, it doesn't give a good indictment for the rest of his evening if it's going to stay wet, because it says in 10 and 30 minutes time it's going to, if that weather clock is, I'm reading it as I should be, it says it's going to get drier in the next half an hour or so. So hopefully the track will come back to him in those conditions. But currently, Andy Taylor has assumed the lead in that red and yellow McLaren, which keeps making me think it's a Ferrari, even though it's not. Let's go, Greasy Bandits, says Jamal. Very much so. Let's see. Let's very much see what's going to happen with him as John Goudet is going for a move into the loop. Doesn't get the move done on the exit, on the entry to the corner, but could potentially get done through the exit off of Aintree. Can he potentially send a dive into Brooklands? He's going to have the slipstream as Richard Hall has come into the pits, but we will focus on this battle for the lead if there is going to be a move happen into the Brooklands corner. Definitely not. With how his exit came off of that that straight off of the corner before onto the straight, but he's looking good behind Andy Taylor. Definitely looking like he's going at a fast rate of knots. Really, he's not going to go for a move. So what I'll quickly do is I'll quickly go into the time sheets. Actually, maybe not, because I think Darrell. Sorry, I thought Darrell was being pressurised. It's not, in fact, the case. But Andy Taylor is going slowly out of cops. We could see a battle into Maggots and Beckett's here. But unfortunately, if that was a back, I think John Goudet wisely backed off there. Let's have a look at the timetables. Currently, oh, you can't see. I thought we'd be able to see fastest laps and stuff like that. Nope, we can't. That's unfortunate. John Goudet, though, still chasing on the back end of Andy Taylor. Can he make a move? Not yet. But I have a feeling this move is going to come within the next couple of laps. This track is definitely getting drier, and John Goudet is just getting faster and faster. Will it be a good day for John Goudet as he... Oh! Contact! I think he just got on the... I think either Andy Taylor got on the throttle a bit late there, or John Goudet got on it a bit early. But that has allowed Darrell to catch back up, and Darrell is looking to the inside. Obviously, I think that's just to say, look, I'm in your mirrors, mate. Don't do anything stupid like that again. I'm not suggesting that he did something stupid, because I don't know who was potentially at fault for that contact there. I'm going to keep as impartial as possible. As we come up the inside, into the loop again. Why would you do that, mate? It didn't work last time round, and you're now going to lose all your momentum going onto the back straight here in towards Brooklands, but maybe not. He's looking closer than he was last lap. But can he potentially send a dive bomb into Brooklands? No, I think he's gonna stay back in this one. He indeed does. Andy Taylor seems to be lagging, or there seems to be some sort of glitch going on with his car there. So hopefully that will resolve itself, because the last thing we'd want is to have lag ruin this potential battle for the lead. But 2 hours and 42 minutes remaining, and I realise I need to pace myself because I'm already starting to get a mouth that hurts from talking so long, so consistently. Hopefully we'll be able to get some. I think I got told by Matthew that we would be bringing on some drivers to talk to, but we don't need some drivers to talk to when we've got some good action on the racetrack. Contact between Andy Taylor and John Gooday. And they don't keep it on track, but they do manage to keep it out of a wall as John Gooday doesn't move into P1. He in fact loses quite a significant chunk of time, and this is allowing Matthew Ridgway and Green Wolfinger to close into this battle for the lead. Contact between those two up at the front. That was a big deal. What you don't want to be doing is battle for the lead so hard in the first 20 minutes of a race that it causes damage to your car, or I'm not sure if you can overweigh your tyres in these conditions really, because it is wet, or some other consequence of an intense battle in this early stage of a race. I'm not sure if people are just turning their headlights on because they need to, or if the headlight was a sign of something there, because I know, for example, I know when I have done my own share of endurance racing, but when you get lapped, which I've done my fair share of because I was really bad at driving project cars too when I was doing such racing, that lapped cars would often flash their lights. Oh, sorry, not lapped cars. Cars would come up to lap you, would often flash their lights at you. But now we come towards the Brooklands corner and now into Love Field. Bit of a different line there taken from John Gooday. He's going to try and get a better run off the corner, and he does indeed. He's now right on the back of Andy Taylor, very close to each other. Andy Taylor is taking the inside, but he's now going to go back to the outside of a circuit. Contact again between the two drivers. I think John Gooday just got caught up on the back of Andy Taylor's McLaren there because he pulled into the racing line right in front. It's a very awkward situation to be in when a driver, completely illegal for them to pull right in front of your car, but it just unsettles you going into the corner. Sometimes you miss your braking point by a metre or two, and that can really put you off, and it can make you go slightly into the back of them and unsettle the car. But it's not unsettled him enough to not get the best run off of Chapel. Now coming up to Stowe. Will he send a move? Oh, he's looking like he wants to, but isn't able to. Actually, never mind. He's alongside, coming through the corner. Will he be alongside on the exit? No, but he will try and send a move on the inside. It's defended. It's blocked by Andy Taylor, but around the outside, he will try and go. The Aston Martin driver fights around the outside. Can he take the position? Yes, he can. Just about there. Andy Taylor John Gooday into the lead of the race here. Finally gets that move done that he's been waiting to pull off for a couple of laps now. But now we're coming towards this next section of the circuit, and I think he might potentially start pulling away because Andy Taylor doesn't look like he's threatening that lead. In fact, he looks like he is indeed falling back. Apparently in 10 minutes it's going to be cloudy. Apparently in 10 minutes we're going to have no rainfall on the circuit at all. And then in 30 minutes the rain is going to come back again. So a spicy looking race it seems so far. So I see Jamal in the comments is going to be going absolutely mental at the prospect of John Gooday taking the lead for Greasy Bandits Racing. And now we'll just watch as I think. Oh, actually, I said Andy Taylor was starting to lose ground to John Gooday, but he's definitely not. He's right on the rear bumper of the Aston Martin. Let's see potentially what's going to happen going into the next portion of this race. We're 23 minutes in, so it's definitely nowhere near over this race. In fact, I think obviously for 3 hours is 180 minutes. We're now 23. We're only about a ninth of the way through this race. And now we come towards the Vale chicane, and well, there's nothing really happening out on the circuit, I don't think. Mr. Lindner is still the fastest man on the circuit, apparently, but I'm not sure how he can be the fastest man on the circuit and be 7th and not really, and kind of in a race of his own. But I suppose that is the case of what's happening here. And we'll go back to the battle for the lead. I don't think, yeah, they're still the same in position terms. I think Darrell has closed it. He has definitely closed up to the back of Andy Taylor, who has lost ground to John Gooday. Darrell going to the inside of the circuit. Is that him trying to get some water on those wet tyres? Just a bit of extra standing water, not standing water, but some excess water. Just run through it to cool the tyres down on the straights. Make it a bit easier in these tricky conditions because it is starting to dry up. I'm not sure if there's a dry line forming particularly because I can't see one really. But it's almost certainly not as it stops raining. I can see rain lightly spitting on the camera. It doesn't help that the camera isn't very good at spotting rain. But it is definitely a tricky situation to be in as Darrell goes wide. The man who led the opening stages of this race is now down to 3rd place. And the pack are so spread out already. We're 20 minutes in. And the guys right at the back even are, like for example, the furthest back driver is just going through Magnus and Beckett's. Meanwhile, the leaders are coming up towards, actually they're coming up towards, but they may be lapped. That's the problem. I think they are lapped indeed. But yeah, oh yeah, Andy Taylor is most certainly falling back from the rest of the pack. Not from the rest of the pack, from the leader. I've wanted to rhyme there. He's most certainly not in a good position here. I've just seen those white wall, not wheels, but white wall wheel rims, which is another, I think that's another homage to Lightning McQueen there. I like that, that's quite cool. It's a shame that he can't seem to go as fast as Lightning McQueen in this portion of the race, though. Hopefully it'll come back to him in the next phase of this event. There is a battle going on for 12th place. If we want to have a look at this, it's between Michele Ricci and whoever is B. Craig. Let me have a look at his. Oh, B. Craig and Ian Gray having a battle as well. That's not that's someone else further behind. Yeah, that's Michele Ricci, sorry, and Ian Gray. B. Craig, who is at the front of this pack, is Brian Craig. Yeah, Michele Ricci does not lead this pack. He's in fact dropped down from 11th to 13th while trying to keep those guys behind. Green Wolfinger, meanwhile, is trying to attack Matthew Ridgway. It looks like it's not raining anymore on the circuit. By the way, I can't see any rain on my screen. I wish I could see what the drivers were seeing because I don't know how to switch from these outside cameras. There is definitely still some spray being kicked up, but that does not mean it's still raining on the circuit. Green Wolfinger goes to the inside line. That may be just to try and cool the tyres down a little bit, because it is now going to get to the point where you are overheating those. What I assume are grooved wet tyres. But it's a case of, because it is going to rain again in 30 minutes, or before that, do you come in now, or do you stay out, cope for it for a little while, and then hope it gets back raining again? It's a decision you're going to have to make in these tricky conditions. But if I was someone like Andy Taylor, I'd just follow the leader. Because you don't want to try and risk... It's a high risk, high reward situation, but it's also a high potential high loss situation, as I've just pushed my brake pedal and I've accidentally made my entire sim racing setup move around. That was not ideal. Gave me a heart attack as well. As 10th, there's a battle for 9th and 10th, I think, here. Dylan Wojcicki is battling with Dennis Kuhlmann. Kuhlmann? Coming in towards Village and the Loop. Bit of a ding-dong over 9th and 10th here. Meanwhile, the gap was extended for John Gooday. He is having a good day out front there. As up the inside, we could potentially see a move for P9 here. And we have, I think, because now Dylan Wojcicki is down into 10th place. Not me forgetting, not even seeing the battle and not being able to comment on it because I didn't properly see it. As now we come across the start finish line, and yep, Dylan Wojcicki is into the pit lane. He thinks, I assume, that it's time for dry tyres. He is flashing his headlights. I'm not sure what the reason for that is, but he thinks it's time for dry tyres. I assume is the case here. Not sure how we can check what tyres he's on, but I assume if he starts setting fastest laps, then it will be the case. Is his team in... Oh! That's strange. Has he just got damage from clouting that wall? What is going on? What is going on with Dylan Wojcicki? This is a very strange. What on earth? There is someone else in the pits. But yeah, Dylan Wojcicki. Really unsure what's happening to him. That was very strange. But nonetheless, we're going to go back to pat action because I think Max Mulder has just overtaken someone. Yep, he has. He's overtaken Matthew Ridgway there. But he's letting him back through. I assume there was contact between the two drivers. But yeah, we're going to go back towards... And Max Mulder got a good run off of Cops, although he did kind of track extend to get that good run. We could potentially see a move into, not Maggotts and Beckett, but potentially into Stowe, which is a more likely overtaking opportunity. It is definitely very much dry out there. I'm not sure if people will be moving towards slick tyres soon. But Max Mulder moving to the outside of a circuit in an attempt to try and catch up with Matthew Ridgway, but Matthew Ridgway, I assume, was just going to try and cool his tyres. But Max Mulder is going to try and go up the inside into the Vale chicane, and I think he's done it this time. Oh no, the Ferrari is still there, but he manages to clear it just about into the corner. And now we see, oh, by the way, the NASCAR is on at the moment. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is live, but I think they're under a red flag for some reason. For those who find that series interesting, I know I do. But then again, I know it's not all about me, unfortunately, because if it was, it'd be a very good place, the world. And that's why I'm the least arrogant person in the world. And now, we'll just see what happens, really. I mean, we're just over half an hour into this race, so the drivers are definitely in their groove now. They're without a shadow of a doubt. But now we're going to move and see what happens. Because no one has come in, and I'm surprised that, because now it's gonna in 10 minutes time it's gonna be intermediate or wetter again. The track is still greasy. It's now changed from wet to greasy conditions. I'm not sure when slicks come into effect. This is my lack of knowledge of GT racing here, or endurance racing in general, to be honest. But yeah, we're going to move towards this stage of the race where, as I said, everyone is just getting into their groove, getting into their momentum. And some drivers are better than others. John Goudet, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, really, is getting to the point where he is in the lead, in the lead by a clear margin. He is pulling to the right-hand side of the circuit. Sorry, to the left-hand side of the circuit on the straights. Not in an attempt to break the toe or anything like that, but that's just simply to keep the temperature in those tyres, because as grooved tyres run through a wet surface, it reduces their surface temperature and makes them less liable to overheating. So that's why he's doing that, and all the best drivers do it. In fact, there's a famous example of where it nearly cost an F1 champion their only driver's title. James Hunt in the 1976 season finale at Fuji Speedway failed to do such a thing in drying conditions there, got a puncture and had to recover his way through the field. He only won the title by 1 point, but he didn't realise that he'd only won the title by 1 point. When he came back into the pits, because he didn't realise how many cars he'd overtaken. So we're coming towards the next part of this, and it should be interesting to see how this battle potentially happens between Andre Damrat and Mr. Lindner. Yep, I think the truck series is under red flag. Not sure what the reason is. Oh, it's a weather delay. There's a weather delay in the truck series. See, we're proper drivers. We race in wet conditions. I know it's different over there because you can't race an oval in wet conditions. Not a track like North Wilkesboro anyway. But now Andre Damanat to the inside. I'm not sure if that's sending a move. Nope, it's just trying to cool those tyres because it is still greasy out there. I bet some of these drivers will be begging for it to return to wetter conditions. They're begging for some rain to come along so they can so they can get some, maybe not some new tyres, but to get like the tyres they currently have cooling down. And apparently in half an hour it's going to be a monsoon. That will be interesting to see how that works out. And now there's a battle forming for 5th, and there's a battle forming. There's a battle forming for 5th, and there's also a battle forming for 7th between Green Wolfinator and Mr. Lindner. Green Wolfinger and Matthew Ridgway and Mr. Lindner and Andre Damanat. So we move towards this next part of the race, and it's very close between Ridgway and Green Wolfinator. Up the inside goes Matthew Ridgway, but I think the switchback could be in effect here for Wolfinator unless Ridgway can keep the inside and push him out wide. He does indeed do so. That is a good move there from Matthew Ridgway to move up into 5th position in his Ferrari. The PRT Endurance Racing team will be happy with that one. Andre Damrat currently languishing behind Mr. Lindner of the Hungarian racing team. Here's currently Michele Ricci is 3 laps down for somehow. I'm not sure what's happened to him, but last time we checked he was running inside the top 15, and now he's running in last place. That is a disaster for him. As I said, not sure exactly what happened. And now Andy Taylor is starting to lose time. He was struggling to keep up with John Goudet, and now he's starting to be reeled in by Daryl GR63. I wonder which F1 driver he's a fan of. And then close behind you've got Max Mulder as well. So this could be a three-way battle for the runners-up position, along with Green Wolfinger right behind Matthew Ridgway, and then Andre Damrat behind Mr. Lindner. Andy Taylor is most definitely struggling at this point in the race. And Max Mulder, has moved up into 3rd position. He's moved up into 3rd place, and Darrell has moved up into 2nd. So, and now Max Mulder's going up into 2nd himself. So Andy Taylor has made a mistake that I haven't caught on camera. Darrell's up Max Mulder is up into 2nd. Darrell's up into 3rd, and Andy Taylor is down to 4th place. That's not good for him, and it's not good for John Goudet as well, because Max Mulder has shown pace throughout this event. So if he can push in some clean air, this could get interesting. Max Mulder now coming through, and here we go. He says Darrell's ahead of him, but he's most certainly not. Max Mulder has gained a 10th on the leader in that sector. And now Andy Taylor just keeps falling back. He's going to fall into the clutches of Matthew Ridgway and Green Wolfinator soon. He just keeps dropping back. He needs to get his head back in the game, or if he's better in weather conditions, hope that they're going to come sooner rather than later. Because we still haven't seen any new rainfall on the circuit. As I said, I said, I don't know when I said it, I don't know when I said that in 10 minutes it was going to become rainy again. But he needs to hope that that is very, very soon indeed. Because it looks very dry on the circuit right now. It does not look like it is spitting even in the slightest. As I said, it's going to be a thunderstorm or something to that effect in 30 minutes. I don't know what the exact weather icons mean. It says now that it is currently spitting, but I don't see any rain. Because well, if you look on any of the panels, there is no weather. There's no spots of rain on any of these panels. Oh, that's Matthew Ridgway. Matthew Ridgway has gone off. He's hit the inside curb, and now what is he doing? He's gone off the other inside curb. Has he had some sort of problem, mechanical failure of some sort, or a problem with his wheel? Because now he's falling right down the order. Matthew Ridgway down to a very lowly position. He's gone behind Andrei Damrad, so he's down to 9th place. Yeah, no, 8th place there. And I think Andrei Damrat, if I was... I don't know what's happened to Matthew Ridgway there. I genuinely don't know what happened. He just seems to have... Well, I don't know if someone's walked in his room and distracted him, or if... I don't know, the classic, oh, the cats run underneath the pedals, so I have to get them out first before I can stamp on the brake pedal. I don't know. But what I do know is that Green Wolfinator is eyeing up a move on Andy Taylor, who still just keeps falling back in this race. I think I see about 10 total spots of rain on the windscreen of Green Wolfinger there. And, well, we've been told we're going to get some rain, and I mean, there is some spots coming down. I mean, it is only light. We've always said it was only going to be light, but I expected the light to be kind of like... No, I didn't expect Andy Taylor to slide off a circuit. He's been struggling this entire time, and I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back there. A bit of extra spitting rain. I think he's probably missed his braking point by just a couple of meters, and it sent him sliding. There's another car trying to go inside. It's about Andrei Damrat. That is Matthew Ridgway making his way up to 7th position there. No, it's not. It's not Matthew Ridgway. That was someone else. I think it may be a lapped car, because it's certainly not Matthew Ridgway. As now, Mr. Lindner is overtaking Andy Taylor as well. So problems for Andy Taylor then. And now it is definitely raining. I can see the rain falling down. It is definitely starting to at least drizzle here now. This is an adapting phase. Who can adapt the best in these conditions? I can tell you that Green Wolfinger is adapting well, because he's now battling with... is that Max Mulder? No, it's not Max Mulder. Darrell is into the pits. Darrell is into the pit lane. I'm not sure what the reason is, because I don't think the pit lane has the pit window opened, because I haven't seen anything say the pit window is open. John Goudet is also into the pits. John Goudet is also into the pits. I haven't spotted that either. So I assume what they're trying to do is, now it's new wet weather conditions, they're going to put on some new wet weather tyres and hope to go longer in this stint. SimPlay Motorsport. Oh, this weather. It is indeed. This weather is throwing up a few unknowns. 4 drivers in the pit lane. Andy Taylor is one of them. Matthew Ridgway is another. Darrell obviously there too. John Goudet coming out of the pit lane in 6th place, I think, because I think he's just about to get overtaken by, I think that's Dennis Kuhleman. No, it's not. I don't know why I thought... I saw a car coming past. It's maybe a lapped car then. And Andrei Damrat is making his way around I think so. We'll see. John Goudet will be the guinea pig to see whether these new tyres. I don't know what tyres he's put on. I assume it is just a brand new set of wets. There's no reason he's going on to. There's definitely no way he's going on to slicks now. Because the race started off wet and he hasn't pitted since. Oh, there's a blue car. I think that is the car of Dylan. What's his name? Dylan Wojcicki. I saw there because I recognise the blue. I can't see him here though. Maybe that's because I'm blind. Probably the most likely cause. But yeah, Max Mulder is in the lead of this race now. Whether he will come in, I don't know. But what I do know is... Wait, where's the race leader? Oh, they've changed drivers. That's what it is. I was like, where's Thingy gone? Let me just get the driver names up. Not me forgetting driver changes exist. Hold on, let me just get his proper name up so I don't have to say Jay Clouden. Yep. John Goudet has been replaced by... John Goudet has been replaced by... I've literally forgotten to actually check the other guy's name. John Goudet has been replaced by Jamal Clouden. So, someone who was in the chat earlier on for us, helping us. Go Greasy Bandits Racing, he was saying earlier on, but he's now going in the Greasy Bandits Racing car. Max Mulder's in. Green Wolfinator's in. So is Mr. Lindner and Andre Damarat and Dennis Kuhleman. Brian Craig is also in. Interestingly, Darrell did not make a driver change during that pit stop. But Andy Taylor did. Now we have Darren Yeo. Or Darren Yeo. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. He is in the Rust-eze racing car. Andre Damarat now overtakes, I assume that's an overtake on Linda. Or is it a lost position? It may be a lost position. But yeah. I've forgotten his name again. Jamal Clouden, that's it. Jamal Clouden moves up into the leading position. Max Mulder's into second. Kevin Steen is third at the moment. So yeah, it's getting interesting in this 2-hour race, and I'm starting to yawn, which is not a good sign because we have 2 hours still to go, and Mr. Lindner goes off while he's got Darrell right behind him. I'm not sure why Darrell has lost a position, but he's lost a position and now he's going to try and retake the lost spot. Max Mulder! He's lost the back end and he's spun it! He's spun it around. I thought he'd gone a bit wide there when I just switched to him, and he's spun it. He's managed to keep it ahead of Kevin Steen, who has taken over from... Kevin Steen is the one who's taken over from... Who is he taken over from? I was just commentating on him not a minute ago. Where is his name? There he is. Green Wolfinator. There, yeah. And now, Mr. Lindner is trying to look for a move, potentially. But it is getting greasy, this Silverstone circuit. Yeah, it's getting even more wet rather than greasy now. The track temperature has slightly gone up. Oh, there's a car off in the background. I think that is Andre Damarat. It is Andre Damarat. He's gone off on the exit of Cup, and he's going to try and make his way back onto the racing surface. But that is potentially a problematic incident. That the front end of that car looks not smashed in per se, but it looks damaged. Actually, yeah, it does look a bit smashed in. That front bumper looks like it's about to fly off any minute now. I'm not sure if there's meatball flags in this game, but he may get one. But yeah, Andre Damnat pays the price for a collision. Loses the position to Darren Yeo. And, well. I'm not sure if that will prompt him to go into the pits again, or if he will just cope with the... Well, it looks like... I said that from him, looks like it's about to fly off. It's not. It's quite securely attached on the left-hand side. It's just on the right-hand side it looks fairly detached. He's gone wide off of there, but as much as I'm getting back used to not going off the circuit. And after, obviously, Max Mulder, after his spin earlier on, is now got Kevin Steen all over his rear end. And a pair of them have got Mr. Lindner and Darrell close behind too. And now the track is now being classed as damp, so it's no longer greasy, it's now damp. Max Mulder following these trio of cars through the Maggots and Beckett's complex. And we are trying to see what's going to happen. You can see who is, as I said, you can see it from, as I said earlier, you can see who uses cockpit cam and who doesn't by if they're using windscreen wipers at this moment in time or not. Because if they're not using windscreen wipers, it means they're on like a nose cam where you don't need to see through a windscreen. Or potentially they just decided, yeah, it's better to go without the windscreen wipers because it gives more power or something rubbish like that. But Kevin Steen is all over the rear end of that BSTC racing car. Can he potentially make a move in the coming laps or in the coming corners even? We will see, because at the moment it is wet, but it is just going to get wetter by the looks of that weather forecast in the, not the top right of your screen, but in the top middle of your screen. You see the weather, then you see the track condition, then you see the temperature, then you see the winds, and then you see the time remaining, of which there is 2 hours and 5 minutes in this session. Currently, Jamal Clouden leads the way by 13 seconds, quite a considerable margin. I mean, it's been quite impressive. Him and his teammate John Gooday. John Gooday pulled a lot of that gap to begin with, but he's doing a good job at the moment, Jamal Clouden, by not making any mistakes like the likes of Max Mulder have done, and he's just keeping that car on the road. Inference on comms. Oh, not this again. Hold on. Does that make it better? Oh, it's still going. Right. I will just... There we go. I should go... If I switch my phone off, I'm not sure. Because the problem is now I've switched my phone off, I now can't see whether that thing, because I've got my NASCAR on in the background. I'll quickly go onto the thing and I will play this on my laptop. Let me just not turn it up to the maximum volume. Yeah, it's definitely... If I just stop this playing in the background. Yeah, it's still there. I don't know. I need to probably text Matthew now because... Oh! I know in the background Kevin Steen is off. While I'm trying to fix my comms, Kevin Steen has gone off. Sorry for not catching that. That is in farm. Kevin Steen has collided with someone. I like to be able to look at this on the replay. Because of where we are. haven't seen what happens here. He just goes through the corner, gets on the curb, oh, and just slides off. I just texted Matthew to see if I can get that fixed. Yep, that's still a problem. Hopefully he'll be able to give it his best shot. Because that is a very annoying noise. I can try and turn on a noise suppression and see if that helps. I'm not sure if it will, but I can give it a go. That's not what I want. That's not what I want to do, is it? No. I think that's what I want to do. Yep, there we go. Perfect. Now we're back into it. Hopefully that has fixed the problems. It may have worked. So yeah, we're going now back towards, I'm not sure exactly what we're going to focus on now because I'm focusing on sorting all that stuff out. But yeah, the track is still damp. It looks wetter than it did before though, definitely. There is definitely, not standing water developing, but there's definitely bits of water you can see all over the track. Let me just go back here. Yeah, the truck race has been delayed at North Wilkesboro Speedway. For the NASCAR Truck Series All-Star Race, but for those who do watch NASCAR, I know probably a lot of you don't, because you're probably all more fans of European motor racing, but I watch it because it's good, it's fun. So hopefully that has fixed that. And now Mr. Lindner is trying to overtake for second place Max Mulder. Potentially we could see a move. Let me get the stream back up so I can see if people are commenting. Oh, the glitch is back again. Why? Hold on. This is fun, isn't it? Great when this happens. So you need to restart your stream. Matt is saying. Okay, I'll restart my stream and I'll see if that works. So hopefully it'll come in a few minutes. Sorry guys, we'll have to just restart it a second. Oh, you can hear me. That's odd. Can you see the screen? Micro J's. Oh, there we go. It's working now. It's working now. It is working now. I know for a fact it is working. So let's get back to the live racing action here for the 3 hours of Silverstone. Here in SimPlay Motorsport. It is getting wetter and wetter by the minute. Look at these conditions. They are probably the wettest they've been all day. Let me just check there's no glitches. Yep, so now into the pits comes Darren Yeo. Darren Yeo into the box. Not sure what the reason is here, because he's already made a pit stop. Obviously, his teammate already made a pit stop to bring him into the car. But is he... I'm not sure what he's going to be trying to do, because there's also Michele Ricci into the pit lane. Not sure if he's making a driver swap, or if he is doing something else. So we'll see. Potentially as I think Mr. Lindner has overtaken Max Mulder in the time that I've been focusing on that. And it is very wet conditions here. It's just, as I said though, it's just going to keep getting wetter and wetter. Not sure how the lap times are lap timing. Oh, yep, so we can see how much... So they went from 2-minute 10s down to 2-minute 6s. Then they're now back up to 2-minute 10s again. So they're just as bad as the conditions were at the start of the race, now midway through. And it's just, as I said, going to keep getting wet, because that plus icon indicates it is just going to keep pouring it down more and more and more. It doesn't rain, but it pours. Quite literally. I accidentally pressed that again. Let me just quickly check. Let me just check what Jamal Cloudon's last time was around. Yep, it was a 2-minute 10.3, a second slower than his previous lap. I assume it is purely because of the track conditions and not because of anything else. That may be a bold assumption, but common sense would suggest that that is the case. And then again, sometimes you shouldn't use common sense in motorsports. And the track temperature has gone down a bit since I last checked, which was quite a long time ago, actually, to be fair. But the track is most certainly getting more treacherous. Unfortunately, we can't see what is like. They've done 30 laps so far, which is quite impressive. What's even more impressive is Kevin Steen's right on the back of, I'm not sure what his name is, A. Kimberley. Mr. Kimberley, what is your name, my friend? Alex Kimberley, there we go. So, oh, never mind, because Kevin Steen's just gone off the track while I was looking at my phone seeing what his name was. So, Alex Kimberley moves back in front. But I'll be able to, again, check that on my stream back. So, Kevin Steen pulled alongside on the straight in towards Brooklands. And then I assume just proceeded to, yep, understeer completely wide. Nearly took Alex Kimberley with him, but managed to regroup. And now he's going to probably go for it again at some point again. And John Cloudon, Jamal Cloudon has lost a lot of time though to Mr. Lindner. That was another 2-minute 10 last time round. It must mean that that Mr. Lindner is going quicker at this point in the race. He isn't. He's going seconds a lap faster than the Aston Martin driver. Oh, and he's twitching the car through farm. That was nearly, that could have been a colossal accident if he'd have not saved that car at just the right moment. There was 9.3 seconds before. It's now 8.3. He is closing at a rate of knots, Mr. Lindner. Max Mulder's keeping in touch as well. So it seems that Jamal Clouden is struggling. He's struggling to keep that thing on the road. My gap is now 8.1, so less of a gain there from Mr. Lindner. He's realised how much he's losing. Jamal Clouden, he's pushing harder. Another wobble off the exit of Cops for the Ferrari man. He's pulling away from Max Mulder as well. This is a very interesting proposition because Jamal Clouden and his teammate John Gooday have been leading for a good portion of this race, and the last thing he wants to do is lose it in these wet conditions. 7.5 seconds, that's another 6/10. They're gaining, he's losing at least a couple of seconds per lap here. Not a good showing from the Greasy Bandits racing team. They're Greasy Bandits, but they're not good in greasy and wet conditions. Or they might be, well, not good, and they're leading, I suppose. But they aren't dominant, should I say, in greasy, wet conditions. Well, what's his name was? John Gooday was. But Jamal Clouden, with all respect, most certainly isn't. And I've just knocked over the tower of Coke cans that I made yesterday next to my sim rig, and absolutely scared the living life out of myself. That's what I get, I suppose, for dissing drivers, I suppose. 4.8 seconds! He must have gone off. There's no way he's losing that. Nah, I need to check the time. Has he made a colossal mistake in one of these sectors? Two minute 12. Yeah, he's made a mistake in the first sector there. So he made a mistake in the first sector. That contributed to a 1.7 second loss over the entire lap. And also in the second, so he may have made a small mistake there as well. But blue flags being waved for the Rust-eze car of Dad and Neo. 4.3 seconds now. The gap. Come on, he's still pushing and he's gaining on Max Mulder as well, so you know this pace is legitimate. I mean, admittedly, he's not gaining an absolute ton of time. He's gained a second since we've really been following this kind of, not battle per se, but this development. It is kind of a battle in terms of time trial. 3.4 seconds. He's gained a second in the second sector. He is absolutely reeling in Jamal Clouden. This is going to be, when he comes up to it, this is going to be a pass that is probably the most easy he'll ever make if he can get through. He has 20, he doesn't have 20 more kilos. Yeah, he does. He does have 20 more kilos on board. He's got a handicap for 20 kilos. I assume that means because he's a pro. Maybe that's why Jamal Clouden isn't doing as well. Maybe, is he part of the Pro-Am class? Is that potentially why? That would make a lot of sense, actually, because he is starting to struggle. Maybe I'll go a bit easier on him then, if that's the case. That's again me not knowing my stuff, so that's my fault, not his. 1.6 seconds now. Okay. Jamal Clouden definitely is going to lose the lead in the next coming laps. Something tells me he is not in the same class of driver as Mr. Linder behind him. Yeah, he's most certain he's struggling in this part of the race. The gap is visibly smaller coming up to the line. It was 13 seconds at one point. It's now 0.6 seconds. Now, if you're Jamal Clouden, do you try and keep him behind, or do you just not let him through, but don't fight him as he goes by? He's almost certainly going to hold him up into Maggots and Beckett. You've got to be cautious if you're Mr. Lindner, though, because you can't just take the same lines and the same apexes as someone who's several seconds slower than you per lap, because they're obviously going to be braking earlier and getting on the throttle later than you are. Coming up to Stowe, they're side by. I think they're about to fight into Stowe. He's pulling to the inside, pulling to the outside. I'm not sure how much I agree with that level of not weaving, but in moving on a straight. And up to the inside goes Mr. Lindner. Into the lead he goes. Or is it going to be? Yes, it is going to be. He clears the Aston Martin driver who loses the lead after they held it for so long. Hungarian racing team is in the prime position with 1 hour and 45 minutes left in this race. And yeah, well, did we expect that? It was coming eventually. We saw how much he was gaining. Max Mulder is 17 seconds behind. He must have made a mistake. There's no way that's not due to a mistake unless he's pitted. I don't think he has pit. We'll have a look at Max Mulder's times. Yep, he lost 13. Yeah, he spun in the last sector. Lost 13 seconds in one sector. That's most certainly due to a spin, and he's now got Darrell all over his rear end. And in 10 minutes it's going to get wetter. But in half an hour it's going to finally start getting drier. But the prospects aren't getting better for Max Mulder, who has just spun again. And he's out of the same place that he spun before, because it was the last sector that he spun last time. It's the last sector he spun at again. Oh, dearie me. He's going to lose another position. He's got Kevin Stein close behind, or not close behind, but closer behind than he was before. And that, 2 spins. He was looking good in the early stages of his race. He was running second for a large part of it. And he's lost so much time now. The track temperature just keeps going down and down and down and down. The conditions are getting wetter and wetter and wetter, and it's catching drivers out. It just is. Some drivers still have 2 stops remaining. Others have just the 1. And it's a shame to see these drivers go off with mistakes. But Mr. Lindner, actually, now he's in the lead, isn't really pulling away that much from Jamal Clouden. That gap is 1.7 seconds, and he got by a couple of laps ago now. So he's not doing a good job. So he's not doing a bad job, Jamal Clouden, to keep in that window. Maybe he is, because, yep, 3 seconds now. Never mind, let me shut up. Because he just lost 1.3 seconds in a sector. But yeah, Darrell in 3rd place. Max Mulder in 4th. Kevin Steen in 5th. Andre Damarat in 6th, followed by Alex Kimberley, Dennis Kuhleman, Brian Craig, Alex Ten Powell, Is that a homage to Alex Palou? Matthew Duffin, Darren Yeo, Terra Nova, does that say? That's very small writing. Darren Yeo, who is trying to go for a move on, is that Ian, what's his name? Ian, what's, no, it's Terra Nova in Ian Gray's car. We've got someone and Sorjay, Graham Sutcliffe, P. Raiden, Jay Winter, Playa Man, Beach Man, but it's definitely not beach weather conditions here. Daniel Michels, CW Wells, Michele Ricci in last place and 9 laps down in the pits. I think he may have retired. I'm not sure if you can actually retire in this game. But yeah, 1 hour and 40 minutes on the dot remaining here in Silverstone. Grandstands look a bit empty, but I suppose they are meant to host crowds for Formula One races, which is a couple of several hundred thousand people, about 500k actually. Whereas I assume that the same amount don't come to the Assetto Corsa World GT Challenge, as much as people probably would want them to. And now, well, we'll just, again, see what's happening, really. Because Jamal Clouden is still losing time. I mean, as I said, he is a pro-am, I assume. It says he's a pro on his back bumper, but he's losing several seconds a lap. Either he's just not a very good driver in wet conditions, or he's not got the required experience to be able to do well in wet conditions. Either way, he is falling back from the leader, and he will be being gained on by Daryl GR63, who at one point led this race in the opening stages. So 37 laps done by the leader, Mr. Lindner. That's quite a lot of laps, and it's going to be like we're going to probably end up doing about 80 in total by the end of the race. Maybe 75 is probably a closer number. No, actually, I'd say no. Yeah, 80 is probably a close number, which is obviously a lot. It's about what is about 1 2/3 race distance in real life. As Mr. Lindner makes a mistake into the last corner. We haven't seen many of those today from the Hungarian man. And now Jamal Clouden comes through at the final corner. Maybe let's see if he has gained on him due to that mistake. He has not. He's only lost 4 tenths now instead. There is a car stopped on the exit of Cops. Oh my god. The leaders nearly got involved there. I'm not sure what was happening there. Let me just quickly have a little glance through the drivers. I think it was 2:14 that was involved. Another yellow flag because the 721 is off. The 721 is off the racetrack. That's a Porsche of Playa, man. Was on the same car as before. That was one of the McLarens. I think it may have been Daniel Michel's who went off in the first place. He's got a very similar looking livery to what I saw before. I just realised that McLaren has blue wheels and it looks disgusting. Don't put blue wheels on an orange car, not solid blue either. Blend the colours a bit, lad. That looks revolting. But yeah, he's properly chucking it down now. May as well be a blizzard. Actually, maybe not a blizzard. Maybe that's a bit extreme. But let's just have a look at the leaders' lap times. I can give you proof. Yeah, we are at the slowest we've been so far this race. And that is Jamal Clouden into the pit lane. So I assume this will be a stint. I assume this will be a driver change for the Greasy Bandits racing team. They've lost the lead in this stint, but will I assume it will be a switch over back over to the main driver, John Goody. Let's see as Jamal Clouden makes his way into the box. Max Mulder's also into the pit, so I assume that's a second driver change. As both drivers are now in the pit lane. And Greasy Bandits Racing has come back out onto the circuit, and it's still Jamal Clouden in the car. Okay, that's interesting. But and Max Mulder is also still in the BSTC racing car. That's another interesting proposition. I mean, Max Mulder has been doing comparably better than... He has been doing comparably better than... Oh no, he isn't. Jay Goudet is back in the car. Jay Goudet is back in the car. Can he pull off some miracles to get them back in a winning position? That's nothing on... That's nothing on Jamal Clouden. He was doing a decent job considering his situation. Can John Goudet or Goudet recover? I mean, four of those cars in front of him are just in front of him because they haven't pitted yet. So he doesn't have to worry necessarily about that. There is still 1 hour and 30 minutes of this race to go. Like, all he needs to do is realistically, the laps around here are about 2 minutes. So in about 90 minutes, we're going to get another 45 laps in. Is that a truth? Yeah, it's a truth. About 45 more laps. So 45 more laps, 22 seconds. All he needs to do is gain half a second a lap. On the car in front. That's just to get past that car, I suppose, though. But then again, they have to pit. All a bit of a wobble through cops. Not a good corner from him there. And also, I need to check what his first name is, because Max Muller is now out of the car. It is Sky Schundelmeyer in that BSTC racing car now. One hour, 30 minutes remaining on the clock. We are halfway through this race.
We are halfway through. Keep it up.
Thank you. Didn't you just tell me that, Chief, but thanks anyway. John Gooday is definitely catching up on the cars in front. It's a case of, will it be enough? He's probably close to a minute off the lead at the moment. Probably a little bit more, actually. We'll see what it's like after this interval. Damn it, that's into the pits. Yeah. Roughly about, I'd say, a minute and a bit more, probably, off of the leader. But Andre Damarat is a driver into the pit lane for IFL Racing Team. Dennis Newman says, come on, Steiny, Sky and Daz. So I assume that's Kevin Stein. Obviously Sky Schindelmeyer. And Daz. Is that Daryl? I guess. Or maybe Darren Neo. Is now, yeah. Andre Damanat into the pits. So is Alex Kimberley. John Gooday will like that because he'll see them in the pits and be able to go past probably without much effort at all. He'll move into the top 5. Actually, maybe not, because look how far. Yeah, Andre Damanat has just come out the pits. Maybe I was wrong. Or maybe I was right, because John Gooday is well far ahead. I thought he was half a lap behind. He's in fact half a lap ahead. That's my bad. I'm not sure exactly what the pit lane loss is here. Maybe that's how I got that wrong. Yep, so... Oh, John Gooday, I think he's clipped the grass there, or clipped the curb. And that may have put him off the racing line there. And onto the curb again. That's not particularly the best line, I don't think. Yeah, I think he's lost a bit of time. He has. So, 42 laps gone. We've got probably about another 40 to go. Based on pure maths, we've got half a race left. But I assume dry conditions will play into that, because we are going to get drier in the next half an hour or so. And after this race, I'm going to go and get myself some dinner, because it'll be well deserved. My mouth is dry. I'm a little bit tired, but I've got to stay dedicated to the cause. John Gooday is now catching up to Dennis Kuhleman. By quite a few seconds, actually. Let's just... Oh, no, no, no one I wanted to do. No. Let's have a look at John Gooday's times. Yeah, so the times from John Gooday have been getting progressively better. He's around hovering around the 2:12 to 2:13 mark. He's most certainly keeping up with Dennis Kuhleman. But, oh, Darrell's in the pits. Darrell's in the pits. That'll be another position for John Gooday. Have we got another potential problem with the audio? Oh no, we haven't. I just got told by Matthew. But I suppose maybe that was him replying to the old message. John Gooday is now up into 4th, methinks. In fact, me knows. So, yeah, Kevin Steen up into 2nd. And Darrell is currently leading. No, he's not currently leading those cars. That's silly me. Because again, things still haven't updated. Yep, John Gooday is ahead. He's the guy who is leading the guys who have no more stops to make. Oh, sorry, one more stop to make. Telanova and Ian Gray, sorry, are the guys who have to make no more pit stops in this race. Something tells me they're still not going to win, despite that advantage. He's got 83 more minutes to go in this event. Dennis Kuhleman still rocking around in 3rd place. Oh, there's a yellow flag. Someone's gone off. Is that Dennis Kuhleman? It is Dennis Kuhleman. Dennis Kuhleman has gone off on the back straight. I do not know how that's happened. I don't know how you can go off that far down a straight. I'm not sure if he got caught on a curb and aquaplaned, or just, I don't know if he lost. I don't know if he was trying to catch a slide from Aintree and just spun off to the inside. But Dennis Kuhleman went off the circuit in quite a dramatic fashion there. Kevin Steen's also in the pits. So, yeah, when Dennis Kuhleman is into the pit lane, he does not want to continue on this stint, or at least if he does, he's on a new set of tyres. Or maybe for damage. That could also be an option. So that'll be John Gooday moving into 2nd place. And now, well, we are 44 laps into this race. We're nearly at a full F1 race distance, and obviously these cars are nowhere near the pace of F1 cars. They'd qualify 40 seconds off the back of F1 cars on the dry, 35 seconds maybe. Which would probably even be 20 seconds slower than an F3 car, because they have a lot more downforce than these do. But the racing is still just as good, if not better, than Formula 1. And that's me accidentally pressing my pedal set again. And again, scaring the living life out of myself. Because I'm a genius, and that is Mr. Lindner into the pit lane. For the Hungarian racing team, they've been leading all this way, but something tells me we are going to get a new leader when he comes out of the pit lane, or when his teammate, or whoever he chooses, or whoever it is that comes out of the pit lane. I assume we're going to get a new race leader. So we will see as Hungarian racing team will come out the pits, and it says it's still Mr. Lindner. But is it still Mr. Lindner? And yep, John Goudet is not. However, John Goudet is not. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. John Goudet is not going to. Obviously, not going to assume the lead, but he will be in a good second place. And he'll be very close behind, more importantly. And he's got the lapped car of, I think that's Dynaco Racing, Graham Sutcliffe there. Driving a very battered BMW down the back straight here. John Goudet has 26 seconds to make up on Mr. Lindner. We'll see if he can do it. Half a minute in 78 minutes. Can he do it? Well, it's 26 seconds really, it's not really half a minute. Maybe a bit of an exaggeration, I won't lie, but don't tell these guys that. Okay, gap's still 26 seconds, no obvious gains just yet. But the rain is going to decrease. And that was where John Goudet was gaining a lot of his time. In those changing and lessening conditions. And he has gone wide there. However, I think he can get this done. Oh, as the BNK Racing team of Mr. Mbele, is that how you pronounce it? Mbele has been overtaken by Alex Tenpau. I was calling it Alex Poe or Alex Powell. I don't know if it's pronounced like the Teletubbies character, or if it's pronounced like the just like Pow, like a superhero. Are you a Teletubby or you're a superhero, Alex? That's what we should ask him. As now John Goudet is losing time to Mr. Lindner. And Schundermeyer, Mr. Schundermeyer, Sky Schundermeyer is losing time to John Goudet. So they're both losing time in due course. 1 hour and 16 minutes left in this race. And the track is definitely drying up. I'll actually keep an eye on the, well, I keep doing that. I keep accidentally going into the return to garage thing. We will keep an eye on the times. Let's, for example, look at John Gooday's times. They've gone from, yeah, they've dropped 2 seconds in the last 5 laps. And for Mr. Lindner, his times have also dropped quite considerably as well. From literally from 2:13s to 2:09s in 2 laps, and one of those laps was a pit lap, so it wasn't very representative. A 30-second stop-go penalty for Darren Yeo for a pit infringement, I assume. That will ruin his place. That will ruin his race from 15th place, and I think he's just got in the way of the Green Wolfinator there. He has Green Wolfinator. That does not look like a healthy Ferrari. It looks like a Ferrari that's been beating and banging like a NASCAR stock car. So, yep. A 130-second time penalty for Daniel Michels. Not sure what that's for, but 130 seconds. That is literally about a lap. That is a lap penalty. Michele Ricci is still in the pits. And Daniel Michels goes off the circuit. Yeah, Daniel Michels has got severe problems, it seems, with being able to driving away or get into the top positions. Penalties and mistakes. John Gooday still losing time to that leading car. Yeah, there's not really much of a race at the front. There is not really one at the back either. Let me see what driver stint time went over for car 334. Oh, he went over his allotted stint time. Okay, 130 second time penalty for that. Okay, that makes sense. So I'm not sure whether he's going to come into the pits or if he's going to come into the pits, because if he's already got the penalty, he may as well not. I'm not sure if that's legal or if you have to serve it within a certain time. But yeah, John Gooday is struggling. He's not even struggling. He's not catching the leading Ferrari. I'm not sure if those tyres will come back to him at some point, or if he's planning on doing something different in the strategy to Mr. Lindner. But we are nearly 50 laps into this race, and he does not look threatening. I didn't think I'd be saying that after the pit stops. His teammate obviously lost him a considerable amount of time. When he was on his stint, but we move towards the Vale chicane. He's got the 33 in front of him. So that 30, no, it says 86. I thought it said 33. It's not. It's 86. That's Micro J's who lets him through in the end. The Lean Green Machines working together. I'm just gonna lay down in my sim rig because it will make it easier and more relaxing to commentate like this. Mr. Lindner still leading. Oh, not the best of moves there from Darren Yeo, who I assume was recovering from some sort of incident because there's a white flag out. That means a slow car is on the circuit. Don't worry, American fans, it's not the last lap just yet. It means slow car over here. Darren Yeo on his way into the pits to serve the 30-second stop and go penalty. And, well, that's a shame for him. He will drop right down. Daniel Michel's will be coming up to the pit lane as well. Potentially he will come in and serve his 130-second time penalty. That is literally more than 2 minutes. He will spend stationary. But it won't be this lap that he will do such a thing. Yep, John Goodey is still struggling to catch that leading Ferrari. 31 seconds now. At one point that gap was 26 seconds. It's now 31 seconds. "68 minutes remaining here in Silverstone," and I definitely didn't get enough sleep before doing this because I'm already tired. Not because of the race, but I'm tired because I didn't have enough sleep. Well, I know I'm sleeping good tonight. John Good. Oh, there's a buzz on my phone. I'll go and check what that is. So, yeah, I mean, there's not really much going on in this race, otherwise I'd probably be commentating on it. Oh, yes, there is. Just as I say that, that is Danielle Michel's going off the circuit once again. Oh, that's another off for Danielle Michels. And now that is Jay Goudet into the pit lane. Jay Goudet has come into the pits with 1 hour and 4 minutes remaining. I'm not sure if that means there's been a driver change or if he's just fulfilled his requirement to make the necessary changes in this race. What I do know is it will allow, certainly, Mr. Lindner, to pull ahead. John Goudet is very much quite far down the pack now. I'm not sure if he's switched out the driver as well. We will find out soon when he comes over the pit lane. When he comes over the timing line for the next lap. And in 30 minutes it will be dry. It will be cloudy, but it will be dry in 30 minutes. That just shows you how much is going to change. John Goudet is currently the highest placed guy who has not got any more pit stops to make as Mr. Michel's get out of the way. So, I think it is, we'll check as he comes across the line. I'm not sure if John Goudet is still in the car for Greasy Bandits Racing. I think he is. I think he's still in that machine. And I think he's trying to close on Andre Damnat. Right, so the top five all need, oh, that's me again. The top five all need to go into the pits again. 7th place, I can't see that, oh, it's Ridgway, Matthew Ridgway needs to come in as well. Dennis Kuhleman, Brian Craig, and Micro J's all need to come in as well too, along with CW Wells, who is 7 laps down, and technically Michele Ricci, who is 26 laps down, and I think he's out of this race. I don't think he's trying to go for the win anymore. Yep, we are now 1 hour into this race. The track is wet, but it is getting drier. So we're 1 hour left in this race. I'm not sure I just said 1 hour into this race because now I am starting to fall asleep. Not because the race is boring, because I probably had in total about 3 hours sleep, and I woke up about 8 o'clock in the morning. No, 9 o'clock in the morning for the F3 sprint race. So it's none of your guys' faults, or none of the drivers' faults anyway. But we are now 2/3 of the way through this race. We have 1 hour remaining, and as soon as this race is over, I've got to go and watch a NASCAR race. But I suppose what I can do then is I can eat. But I'm not going to eat on stream because that would be unprofessional of me. It's still not unprofessional of me to say I'm tired. I hope anyway. I'm not going to get fired for saying that. But yeah, it's been a good race. Obviously, endurance racing, it has its good moments, but they're a lot less frequent than, for example, other motorsports where it's just there's a lot less spaced out. It's meant to be like a sprint, like for example, stock car racing. That's a great example. IndyCar is also good because, like for example, NASCAR, it goes on for 4 hours, but there's always cars right near each other because the tracks most of the time are at maximum like 30 seconds long. It would be like doing the international layout of the Silverstone circuit, so I'm doing this straight up to Brooklands, Luffield Woodcote, Cops, turning right at the second part of Maggots and Beckett. Oh, yellow flags. I think someone's gone off. There's one of the Porsches, I think. Through Aintree. I didn't actually see. Let me just. Ow. I think that was the 324 of Sky Schundelmeyer. We'll be able to see when they come over the next timing line, which is the start of this straight. Because we'll see if Mr. or whoever it is, Mbele, because I've checked their first name, I cannot pronounce it. I'm not even going to try to because I'll probably offend them. Yep, that's an 11-second loss for Sky Schundelmeyer. And I'm now going to sit back up again because I think I can do some... There we go. If I was wondering what that squeaking sound is, it's my seat, not me. And as we move into this next part of the race, Andre Damarat is fighting with someone here. It's with Green Wolfinator. And he is past him after initially being behind him. So, 56 minutes to go. Still a massively long way remaining. And now Green Wolfinger is coming up to the back of Andre Damarat, who's coming up to the back of Mbele. Mr. Mbele. I'm not sure exactly what the reason is for this bunch up. I'm not sure if there was a mistake maybe from the BNK Racing Team driver. Looks like there was, because he's lost a second or so to Sky Schundelmeyer, sorry. Andre Damarat looking to make a move at some point here. Matthew Ridgway is also trying to potentially make a move on Richard Hall for 7th place. This battle is very important for third. It's a position on the podium. John Gooday will also be able to benefit from this because he'll be able to catch up to this trio of drivers. At least hopefully for his sake he will be able to. And now, oh, Andre Damanat was darting to the inside, looking like he was going to make a move, backed out of it in the end. He tries to make it around the outside. He's looking to make it work. I don't think it will, though, if I'm being frankly honest. It doesn't. The track is still wet out there. Although there is only minimal rain, it is still wet. It's not classed as damp, it's not classed as greasy, it's still wet. There is such a big gap between the lead and second place. It's not even a joke. Sneeze. That is going to be a problem. As weaving to the inside goes Mr. Lind. Mr. Lindner. Andre Damanat's being overtaken, or trying to overtake Mr. Umbele here. Oh, he goes wide. He's gone completely off the circuit. He's gone into the gravel trap. Is that going to be in contact with the barrier as well? No, it isn't. Into the gravel he goes, and he's going to be out of that battle. Not sure exactly what happened to him there, but it was a complete misjudgment of the situation there. To be right on the outside, going into the first corner, it just seemed like he didn't turn until the corner had already come and gone. He's lost 2.5 seconds to the back of these two. That's at least 3 seconds in total. John Gooday has caught up as well. Not ideal situation for him. Not ideal at all. It's a shame when stuff like that happens, because it ruins a potential good battle for the podium. Like, obviously we've still got, oh no, I don't want to do that. I'm just putting my controller by accident. Blue flag's waving for a slower car. Well, it's not even waving for a faster car, is it? Green Wolfinator still close behind. Andre Damanat is trying to make his way back up to the back of this little group. He's close behind the Aston Martin of, I don't know who that is. It's a lapped car though. No, it's not. It's a Jaguar. I'm being stupid. Aston Martin. Where was I thinking? It was B Vargas in the Team Jag car. The only Jag in the field, I think. Team Jag car. 50 minutes to go. We are more than a third. We are more than 2/3 of the way through. So we're probably about 70% of the way through. Yep, track is now damp. There's going to be a bit of rain in 10 minutes, but then it will go straight back to being cloudy. I assume a lot of drivers will like to see that, because there have been several drivers who struggled in the wet conditions. Max Mulder was one of them. His car is now being driven by his teammate Sky Schundelmeyer. Not even a particularly hard name, I'm just not concentrating. And now Sam Schindlermeyer right on the back of Ian Gray's car. Is obviously a back marker. Is he going to let him through? No is the answer, not yet anyway. The defensive line for Ian Gray. Onto the back straight. It says Sky Schindlermeyer is a lap down. I doubt that. I think that is half a lap rather than a full lap. And now John Gooday is gaining on the cars in front. Right, so we're back live for the stream. Sorry about the problems we've been having. So, in the meantime, Sky Schindlermeyer has been in the pit lane. So that's why they are back in 9th place rather than 2nd where they were before. I assume this will be in preparation for the dry conditions that are going to be coming in the next 30 minutes. I assume actually maybe that's what some drivers are trying to do. They're trying to go and wait. They're trying to wait for dry conditions to be able to make their final pit stops. So they don't have to waste a pit stop. That's actually quite clever. Because this track is... You can see the rain, it is still coming. It's just coming very slowly as John Gooday is in the pit lane. He's already made his mandatory stop, so I don't see why he's doing this. Same with Matthew Ridgway. He has one more stop to do. But John Gooday, what's he thinking? Is he putting in Mr. Clouden? Is Mr. Clouden going to go for a stint? We'll find out, because I'm not sure why he's doing this. Unless it's for dry tyres. And even then, it's still damp track conditions. Although it is getting drier. Obviously, if it gets too greasy, then it maybe is time for slicks. But we'll see. As John Gooday or Jamal Clouden, we don't know which one just yet. We'll see which one it is when they cross the line next lap. It hasn't actually put them behind. No, it has put them behind the 6th place car, I think. Or has it? Oh yes, it has, definitely. We'll see when they come around for the pit straight next time around. What it will be. And The rain is definitely getting lighter though, there's no doubt about it. The Ferrari that has been leading for a long time now is still in the lead of this race. He took it from Jamal Clouden, and he's held it ever since. Ian Gray into the pits. And they're back into the pits again. Why are they back into the pits again? What is happening with his team? And they cracked. Oh! That was a clobber into the pit, into the wall. And the John Goudet, Jamal, what's it? I've completely forgot his last name now. The John Goudet car has come into the pits inexplicably. This is 2 pit stops in the space of 2 laps. What is going on with that car? While that's going on, we can see that there is a battle going on for second place between the BNK Racing team, Green Wolfinger in the JWB Racing Esports car, and Andre Damrat. Oh! And one of the laps cars has taken Mbele out. I'm not sure, I didn't catch that fully. I'm not sure if one went to one side of the track and the other thought the other would go the other side. But Ben Bele is out. He's not out of this race, but he's lost out in considerable margin. I'm going to look back on the replay and see if we saw that. It seemed it was the case that Mbele went to the right to try and overtake the back marker, and the back marker also went to the right to try and get out of the way. That is such a shame. Andre Damrat overtaking Green Wolfinger for second place. Oh, John Goudet has a... Oh, sorry, Jamal Clouden has a 30-second stop-go penalty. What is going on? They're going to have to pit 3 times in 3 laps. Richard Hall is in the pits. Drama here with 39 minutes remaining on the clock. And the track conditions are still damp. They don't look damp. I can't even see any rain falling on my screen. I'm not sure if there is now. I'm just not zoomed in enough to see the rain. But yeah. That's going to be another problem for Jamal Clouden. The team that was previously at one point in contention for the win is now not even going to probably finish in the top 10 because of the amount of shenanigans that have gone on in this race. Only a handful of cars have failed to make a pit stop just yet. Micro J's is one of them. Brian Craig is one, and the top 5 all haven't. Just as I say that, Andre Damrat comes into the pits. That's the 3rd pit stop in 3 laps for this dreaded 836 car of Jamal Clouden and John. I've forgotten his name now. John Goudet, that's it. And they stopped. He stopped in the pit lane, and he goes again. What's going on with this team? Several drivers in the pits. Micro J's is one of them. James Clouden another. Dylan Wojcicki Dean was jockey, sorry, in 13th. DJ Phil Green in 14th. I mean, Daniel Mickles has just come into the pits as well. He's quite far down the order. I don't think he will really lose or gain anything from a pit stop. But Green Wolfinator is now being attacked by Mbele after that previous incident a couple of laps ago. Mbele's now got to be inside. I think that, to be honest, from my perspective, it looked like Green Wolfinator just turned in there and I expected them to back out. It's now a greasy track. I assume a lot of those drivers that came in were coming in for dry tyres. Because it is now pretty much a fully dry track that is only going to keep getting drier, because in 30 minutes time, which will be only 6 minutes till the end, it will still be cloudy. We could potentially see some more pit stops here. Yep, and Mbele's into the pits. Is Green Wolfinger going to follow him in? The answer is yes. Mr. Lindner stays out, but these two are in. Don't tell me Jamal Clouden has another 30-second stop-go penalty. Mr. Mbele into the pits. So is Green Wolfinator. And so is the leader. Mr. Lindner, who has been in the lead this entire race, is now into the pits again. Mr. Schundlermeyer, Sky Schundlermeyer, is up into P3, sorry, P2. And I think he's got his lap back from the leader as well, for good measure. That is Mr. Mbele coming out of the pits. I'm not sure again if they've had any change of drivers, those two. Same thing with the leading Ferrari. With 30 minutes left in this race, just over 30 minutes left in this race, Jamal Clouden back into the pits to serve another stop-go penalty. That has been a cursed car. And he's serving that penalty. Everyone in the field has now pitted the required amount of times. Andre Damrat is now in third. Kevin Steen is now the one driving that JWB Racing Esports car. Takes over from Green Wolfinator. Mr. Mbele. Is now trying to fend off the advances of Mr. Steen, and he's done it badly by going off the circuit. Another off for Mbele this time. It's his own making though. Goes onto the grass coming through Brooklands and into Woodcote, and that's another problem for the McLaren driver. That will allow Kevin Steen through and Alex Poe. And Alex Poe's going around the outside of Kevin Steen here. Or he was going to go around the outside, but he didn't in the end. The track conditions are still greasy. Oh my god, it's going to be cloudy until the end of a race, and then right at the end, it's going to start raining again. Oh my goodness me, the weather conditions here, they're totally not trying to throw the drivers off completely. As Alex Poe to the lead, sorry, not to the lead, to 4th place. What am I talking about? To the lead. Kevin Steen's still there though. Kevin Steen not giving up. Kevin Steen trying to commit, but the car is still there on the inside. He has to leave room. They do leave room, and oh, this is great racing. Alex Poe takes the position. We're coming up to half an hour to go in this race. 30 minutes. We'll be on the clock in 1 minute and 30 seconds time. That's just under a lap. The track is getting dry. Probably the driest it's been all race. It's probably music to the ears of Mr. Lindner, who is quite frankly driving a fantastic race. It got to highs of lap times of like 2-minute 13s, but he's dipped into at some points the 2-minute 5s. An 8-second time difference. Oh, and there is someone off at Abbey. That is a 43 car of Dean Wujocki. He has just pulled over to the side, and that may be his race done. I'm not sure what the reason for that would be. But he has pulled over. He's gone again. Not sure what the reason for that is. Mr. Lindner. He is still in the lead of this race. He's been in the lead of this race for as long as I can remember. It was John Gooday who led for such a long way. But he's so far back now, or his car is so far back now. Sky Shulamite, it says Sky Shulamite is a lap down. I don't want to believe that. I simply don't want to believe it because I don't think it's true. I think he's half a lap down. And that's the leader off. The leader is off track there, coming through Club Corner. Not sure if that was a mistake or if he got pushed out there. But we are coming in to the last half an hour of this race. 29 minutes remaining. So, Andre Damrat, I think, has just set the fastest lap of the race. Hello. So, the track is he's definitely, well, if he's set the fastest lap, it is the fastest the circuit has been so far. It is. A 2-minute 1. Mr. Lindner, I don't think he's even setting that kind of lap time. Oh, he's in 2-minute freeze. Mr. Schindlermeyer has been overtaken. Oh, sorry, Sky Schindlermeyer has been overtaken by Andre Damanat, with 27 minutes to go, Andre Damanat is really pushing to try and, I assume, catch up to the leader. Not sure if it's going to happen because it says he's a lap down. I don't think he is though. As I said, I think it's half a lap, and that they just can't get to the timing line before Linden gets to another timing line. So therefore, it assumes that he's a lap down. I don't think that's the case. But we are looking and gearing up towards the end of this race. It's been quite a long one, obviously 2.5 hours so far, but it's been a slow burner. I mean, there was quite a bit of action at the start, especially with the chaotic wet weather throwing a spanner into the works. But there's also been some, like, now the track is at its fastest it's been so far. Mr. Linden has set the fastest lap so far because he just crossed the line, but I assume those times are going to still keep tumbling. Because what time has he just set? Which we went from, like, you can see how quickly the times just drop off. A 2-minute 1.5. Like, not 5 racing laps ago, they were 6 seconds slower than they currently are. As the leader is flashing for this Porsche to get out of the way, and he does. Andre Damanat coming through the final few corners. And that is not a fastest lap for Andre Damanat. It seems that the leader, Mr. Lindner, is putting his foot down. Now we're going to be able to finally have some rubber build-up on the track. Obviously, all of it will have been washed away with the wet weather. But now we can finally have some rubber on the circuit. We've so far had 71 laps of this Silverstone circuit. I'd be sick and tired of it by now. I'd be like, oh, another blankets and buckets, another Stowe, another Chapel. Bad because these guys are just a lot better at it than what I am, so they have a different reaction to it all. The track is quite cold. Which probably explains why we're not getting times that are really close to the qualifying times, and also because it isn't a green circuit. It might be fast, but it's not optimum. Like, to see that the track is only 13 seconds slower in the wettest of what we've had so far compared to the driest of the dry kind of insinuates to me that we haven't actually had really wet conditions. And a track like Silverstone, the difference between a wet and a dry race should be, or a wet and a dry lap should be about half a minute, in my opinion. As much as I was bashing him earlier on, Jamal Clouden has just set the fastest lap of the race so far. Let's see what the lap time was. Fair play, he set a 2-minute 1.1 and shut me up. Fair play. 22 minutes left in this race. 22 minutes of 3 hours. We are about 90% of the way done. 9/10 of the way there. But it could all change on a dime. We know we've got wet weather coming at the end. Will some drivers come in because they don't want to risk sliding off in tricky conditions? Or will some go, you know what, I can risk it. I've got the gap to the car behind and I don't need to worry because I won't lose enough time. Only time will tell, as Mr. Lindner has gone fastest again. I bet he's going to be trying to get into the 1 minute 59s. That'll be the elusive time he's trying to achieve. At least at some point. That's a 2 minute .4. He is still going hell for leather. And now, yeah. We've got a Ferrari in the lead. We've got a McLaren in second place of the IFL Racing team of Andre Damrat. Scottish and Lemire. Then we've got a quartet of Ferraris. 2 more McLarens. A BMW of Matthew Duffin. One of only 2 in the field. Another McLaren of Mr. Mbele. Jamal Clouden. Of that team that had to come in 3 times in the space of 3 laps. Jay Winter in the Porsche. Team Jag down in 14th. Dean Wajocki, who pulled over to the side of the straight in around Abbey. I assume just to, I don't know what to do. I don't understand that. But then we have Plyerman in the Porsche. And then 4 McLarens round off the back, including C. Wells, who is 16 laps down. And it will be 17 laps very soon. And now... Oh, it's just a bit boring now. Across the line, it's not even the line, it's the other line is the other pit straight. Oh. So yeah, I mean, I think everyone is quite well spaced out. I mean, the 88 car of Terranova has got, is that Andre Dalmat behind him? It is, so it's a lapped car. And that's the only 2 cars that are remotely close to each other on track. Actually, I'll tell a lie, there's a 100. There's a 100 car. And who's the car? Sorry, there's a 99 car, and who's in front of him? Oh, it's the leader. That's why I couldn't see who was the 100, because I wasn't looking at the leader. So that's another lap being put on CW Wells. That's 17 laps now down he will be. I assume, has our leader finally got under that 2 minute barrier? No, he hasn't. He's got to 4/10 away from the 2-minute barrier, but hasn't actually reached it yet. I assume that lapped car did not help him, or a lapped car of some sort did not help him on the previous lap, which is why he was so far down on his previous best. And he's going to come around the final corner again. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to beat it this lap. But a sub 1 minute lap time could be very magical. Nope, not that time around. He's within a second of it though. To be fair, he could even... No, he couldn't. Yeah, he probably couldn't come into the pits. That's probably a bit of a stretch. He probably couldn't come into the... Actually, no, he probably could come into the pits and put on a brand new set of tyres and go for a fastest lap if he wanted to try and get under the 2 minute barrier. But I suppose that would be a bit showman of him. And rain is coming in the next 10 minutes. Maybe that's the reason why he wouldn't want to do that. He wants the biggest lead he can, so he has the biggest amount of space to make his decision when the rain eventually comes, because it will come and it will probably be enough to change onto wet tyres. Andy Taylor is in the pits for Rusty's Racing. 18th place that team is, and they aren't doing a good job. They ran at the front near at the start, but they progressively fell back. His stint in the early part of the race probably did kill a lot of their momentum. He was running in the top 3 at one point, I think, and now they're back in 18th. The same thing happened to, where are they? Jamal Clouden. Maybe not him, but John Gooday. He was running second, and then, yeah, I mean, Jamal Clouden was the guy in the car when they got overtaken for first and when they lost a lot of their time. But I suppose every team has that problem. Mr. Lindner, though, has driven a pretty much flawless race. He didn't lead from the get-go. But he has led for most of it. I just need to quickly go to the toilet with 14 minutes remaining. So I'll just quickly need to mute my mic. Hello guys, I am back. We have 13 minutes remaining in this race. We're nearly there, but we're nearly there. So, as I said, 12 minutes now remaining. The rain will be coming in about 5 minutes. About 6 minutes will be when the 6 minute mark will be around when the rain comes. Andy Taylor has gone over his allotted driver window, but I don't think he cares. He's 18th. A 130-second time penalty is not going to really mean anything to him. Alex Tempo has gone fastest out. Has he gone under the 2 minute barrier? He'll have to be close if he's going to beat the leaders one. Oh, 3/10 away. Only 3/10 away from the leaders. And now our leader is coming up to a group of lapped cars. Loads up for his sake to get out of the way. I've just seen a puff of grass. That's not what I want. Well, that's not what I want to see, because he won't want to see them fighting as he's trying to get past them. Surely they see sense and they let him through and then fight. No, the blue BMW there of, I think, Dylan Wojcicki has let him through, and so has the Porsche ahead. That might have been a Playa Man. It is Playa Man. And the leader has no big scares coming his way. He'll have the rain, but he's got such a lead. He has half a lap at least. If his like +1 lap is completely legitimate, and he does have, in fact, 1 lap of extra, he doesn't have to worry. Because these two together have completed how many? 78 laps. And he's got really close to his previous best that time round as well. Actually, no, it's not to his. He's done the entire race. He's done 78 laps. Damrat is on his 78, so yeah, he's not a lap behind. I knew he wasn't a lap behind. I knew he wasn't a lap behind. He is half a lap behind. On to the 79th lap of this race. Jay Winters into the pits. Oh, this has been a tough one. I should have definitely got more sleep, and then I'd probably been a bit more energetic for you guys. But he's coming up to lap Kevin Steen, who has been a good driver in his own right today, along with his teammate Green. What's his name? I forgot what his name is now. But the fact that the 5th place car is being lapped is mental. Mr. Lindner is doing a cracking job. There is no doubt about that. Less than 7 minutes remaining. The rain will be coming within the next minute or two. That's not what Mr. Linder wants, I can assure you. He will want this rain to come as late as possible so it provides as little jeopardy as possible. $80 laps completed. And he's gone wide at the first corner because it is now raining. It is actually raining on the circuit. With 6 minutes remaining on the clock. Kevin, sorry, not Kevin. Why did I say Kevin? Mr. Lindner just needs to keep it all together. Don't do anything stupid. If you need to brake 50 metres early for every corner, brake 50 metres early for every corner. You've got the lead to be able to do that, mate. He's only got probably 3 more laps. Now he won't be getting a fastest lap. And I don't think we'll see a lap underneath the 2-minute mark. Which will be mildly frustrating for me because I genuinely wanted to see it. But yeah, I don't think he's going to get close to that again. No, he got 3/10 away. Show the Jag. Okay, I will show the Jag. Team Jag currently sitting in 13th place with 5 minutes to go. They've got Andy Taylor, who's a lap behind, right behind them. And that's really it. It's been a decent showing for them. Obviously, the only Jaguar in the field. So they have no one to really compare against. But the leading Ferrari has been fantastic. Like, you can't deny the performance today. Probably, he could easily, what's it called, slow down a lot on these last couple of laps and just do 2 more. He did make a mistake there. Completely lost the back end over the curb. But he could easily just lift off, back off completely, and try and take the checkered flag with about 2 minutes and 5 to go, and then just coast to the end. Because again, he has such a gap back. Andre Damrat is coming through Abbey, and he's on the back straight coming in towards Stowe. He has such a lead. He could probably only use like 6th gear for the rest of the race and still win. No one's coming into the pits, obviously, because I don't think it would gain you any time. Because you have to stay for 25 seconds, don't you? There's my car. I assume you were talking about the Jag. Yeah, it's a good car. Brave of you to be the only person to choose it. That either means it's really good, really underrated, or no one uses it for a reason because it's awful. I don't know, because I'm not experienced in ACC, but that's why I'm doing this, to get experienced in other motorsports and to know what other motorsports are about. And Mr. Lindner, it looks like he's going to go for another lap. It does not look like he's going to back off and try and only do 1 more lap. He's going to go for the full 83 laps. Yep, he's definitely going for 1 more final lap. The track is now greasy. On slick tyres, that's not what you want to hear, or not want to see, or not want to have anything to do with. But they're going to have to put up with it. The leader especially. There's no one who's really battling with each other. Not for position anyway. They're too far away from each other to actually battle, which is a problem that I found with endurance racing. It's like, for example, Le Mans 24 Hours. It's great to watch as a novelty, but for me, it's just like it's even more not dominant than F1 per se, but it's even more predictable than F1. I'm in the Jag now. I refuse to use the McLaren because it's boring. Everyone is in one. I mean, there's lots of people in Ferraris and a couple in Porsches and BMWs. So, I mean, someone's winning in a Ferrari, so I'm not sure if that's an indictment of their personal ability or if that's an indictment of how good the Ferrari is. I don't think this is going to be Lindner's fast lap, or last lap, which is why I am kind of going back on the commentary and I'm just relaxing, really. I don't want to be really dull when he comes across the line, so I hope it is not his last lap. He just needs to keep it on the road, really. And now I've said that he's going to spin off. But even if he does spin off, Andre Damonat hasn't even come through Magnussen Beckett's yet. Be different, run the Jag. Yeah. I mean, Mr. Lindner isn't, and he's currently kicking arse, I cannot lie. And he's going to come up to the line, and he's going to be... he's just about going to get another lap in. The leader is on the final lap of the race. Mr. Schundlermeyer's into the pits. What's all that about? Have they gone over the amount of time that one of the drivers needs to be in the car for? Because if that's the case, then that is such a shame. Or the writer, or the Lexus. I haven't even heard of a writer before. What even is a writer? Or Rita, whatever you say. Alex Tempo is now in third. Mr. Sky Schundlermeyer is now in fourth. I think Kevin Steen is going to make his way through as well. Kevin Steen does make his way through. That's such a shame for the BSTC racing cars. It is such a shame, but I mean, Mr. Lindner, I cannot pronounce his first name. It's a Hungarian name. I'm not going to try and embarrass him or humiliate him or disrespect him by completely butchering it. So I've just called him Mr. Lindner all day long. He's been leading pretty much all day long. He saw early threats from the likes of Ian Gray, wherever he's gone. He saw threats from John Gooday. But ever since about an hour into the race, he's been all out in front. He's the only driver of this Ferrari. There's no other guy in this car. I'm not sure if that makes him less eligible for points or something. It shouldn't do, because he's done a bloody good job. And Mr. Lindner, he's done it fantastically in that 100 Ferrari. Everyone else is in McLarens and dominating. Admittedly, there are 5 Ferraris in the top 7. But Mr. Lindner is going to come across the line and win the 3 hours of Silverstone here in SimPlay Motorsport. It got wet towards the end. That did not bother him in the slightest. He still won. He still managed to complete 84 laps of a circuit in the 3 hours we have. Kevin Steen is the first guy to cross the line after him, and he's lapped. But he's lapped everyone up to 3rd place. Alex Kimberley comes home in 5th. Sky Schundlermeyer home in 6th for BSTC Racing. We'll have to wonder why he's that far. Why he had to come in right at the end. Dennis, I think is it Dennis Cullerman is going to come to the line. Is he ran out of fuel? It doesn't look like he's going very quickly. The number 721 has been disqualified by race control. Not sure why. I can't see a 721 on the graphics. But Dennis Cullerman comes home in P7. B. Craig will come in P8. And the 80 of Andre Damarat has just come in second. Brian Craig will just come in P8. Followed by Vittorio Nova. Alex Tempo will come across the line and complete the third place. And he got the fastest lap and was the closest man to get below the 2-minute mark in terms of lap time. Matthew Duffin, the 66 has been disqualified. That's Andrew Taylor. Plyerman has been disqualified. Daniel Michel's have been disqualified. You don't need to worry about them. They're right near the back. Matthew Duffin is across the line. Only one more person to cross the line. C.W. Wells, 17 laps down, but still decided to continue and still decided to race. He did not care. Stuck in the pits for 17 laps for whatever reason. He wanted to finish. He does finish in 18th place. Why is it not? I'm confused. Why is he still going round? Why does it not say he's finished? Really enjoyed that. Well done, Dean. We had our issues. Yep, I mean, yeah, Mr. Lindner, 83 seconds in the lead. I knew he wasn't a lap up, but he was pretty close. 83 seconds over a 3-hour race. He's gained a second a lap on Andre Damrat. A second a lap. That is insane. And to finish a lap ahead of to lap everyone up to P3 is even more insane. Like, maybe if not for the rainy conditions, we could have had him lapping up everyone up to P2. But that is just frankly insane. So the session has now ended. The drivers are now making their way back to the pits. And I think that is me done for commentary. I'll just double check with Matthew so I don't end the stream early. But yeah, it's been a great race. If you want to click off the stream now, because there's no more racing action that's going to happen. I'm just going to wait for Matthew's permission to end the stream. But it's been a cracker.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Yep, I think that is the end. Everyone is leaving. Thank you, everyone, for watching in. So, see you all later. I've been Nedzo. Bye! Hello, Matthew. You seem to be speaking, but I can't hear you for some reason. I can see your voice overlay, but I can't hear you. I can hear you now. No, I've got ended the stream just as you joined. But the problem is, when I do my normal, nothing, it doesn't come through. I think it's because I'm streaming, then you're streaming my stream essentially. Okay. I think when I do F1 commentary, it never happens. Never. Like, I've not had an instance. Yeah. Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, I was falling asleep for part of it. You'll see that I was going speaking because I'm literally falling asleep. But towards the end, I was alright. What do you say? It's all right. Yeah. Yep. See you in a bit. See you in a bit.